Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the PUDcast with Jason and Mike. I'm Jason.
I'm Mike.
We're coming to you from the Pud Cave located here at Game Swap in the middle of beautiful downtown Lincoln in the great state of North Carolina. Mike, what's going on in Pudville, brother?
Man, it is a Sunday morning.
Well,
it is a cool,
yeah,
overcast Sunday morning. We haven't seen that in a long time.
No, I was going to say, man, we got a little bit of fall weather coming in. It's looking like a
hope
little.
so.
Oh, I'm about ready for it, brother.
Dude, it has just been killing it with the 90s.
But I tell you what, now I'm with you on the 90s, man. If we're talking music or wrestling, I'm down. We talking about temperature, oh man, that gets a little iffy, brother. It gets a little iffy. But I tell you what, man, I'm definitely, not looking forward to this hurricane that might be blowing through here in the next few days.
Anytime there's a threat, and I always flash back to it was late 80s. Hugo.
Oh yeah, man.
I always flash back to Hugo and how destructive that was for this area.
That was crazy.
Just alone this area, and we only got a small portion of it.
Yeah, I think Lincoln was just on the outskirts of it, brother.
Yeah.
Man, we were. The thing I remember about Hugo the most was for the first couple of days, it was actually kind of fun and exciting. We all got out of school, obviously, for our, for people our age. And, it was almost like camping out at home. Like we used a heater, a little kerosene heater to cook on. Stuff like that. But after about 2 days, I remember that it got pretty old pretty quick. And we were out power for about 2 weeks, Mike Payne. We went about 2 weeks without.
That was bad. I remember I lived in West Lincoln in the Vale area. And we didn't have power for, I want to say, and I was young then. I'm trying to remember how long. I remember it was anywhere from 3 days to a week.
Shit, man! I didn't even think y'all had power out in Vale until the 90s anyway.
Well, it was run on windmills.
Yeah, and, that and outhouses.
Outhouses and
we didn't even miss running water.
Right. Yeah. We just had to go out
out to the creek.
Out at the creek.
Well, I know, man. It was like that even when Hugo went out. It was like get a bar of soap and jump in the river. You know? That's country living, brother. Hey, for anybody that doesn't know.
You're down close to the South Fork. So.
Yeah, I'm right there. So, but
that's a little scary.
Yeah, I was going to say, you don't want to go jumping in that son of a bitch, come out looking like the Toxic Avenger. Seriously, man, you're either going to get cancer or superpowers, dude. And I'm probably going to go with cancer, in that place. But I tell you, Mike, other than that, man, it's been a pretty cool week for me. Man, I've been doing some recording for the music. I've been trying to help out the Millennium Wrestling Federation a little bit, trying to come up with some original pieces of music for them. And, Mike, I get a little weird when it comes to recording music, brother. I go into isolation, dude. Today, I didn't even know there was a hurricane coming through until about an hour ago. That's just how out of the loop I've been. Yeah. I mean, I just get in this focus. And
you're like the Prince of Lincoln.
Brother, that's I don't even know how to respond to that.
You go underground. And
the artist formerly known as Prince.
Yeah. You just don't emerge until it's done.
Well, I have a symbol, and since my last name is Finger, you can probably figure out what that symbol is. But, I tell you what, man, it's been a good week. It's been a creative week. And speaking of being a good week, brother, let's take a moment to talk about last week's guest and last week's show before we start this week's, bro.
Oh, my God. That was so much fun.
Dude, Mike.
Wayne Sisk,
what can you say?
We could say a lot.
Oh, I mean, dude, we can do a podcast on Wayne Sisk without Wayne being here.
Yeah.
Just on Wayne.
Right.
Dude, I tell you, Mike, I think Wayne really took us to another level last week.
Oh, absolutely.
He made us, as we were doing the show, I remember me and you were talking post-production, and I was like, bro, you got to wait till you hear this guy.
All right.
And, you were like, hey, I already heard him,
All right. It was magic then.
As it was happening live.
Because he's so mesmerizing, and a lot of times I caught myself, just so enthralled with the stories and everything, I lose where I was at.
Oh, it's like we weren't even recording, man. It's just we were talking,
Yeah.
And that's what kind of brings me back to just taking us to that level and just, like I said, when I listen to him, I'm like, Jesus, man, this guy's voice is golden.
Yeah.
And his knowledge is vast. And basically what I'm trying to say, Wayne Sisk, is you are always invited here to the podcast. Man. We are getting you back on as soon as we can. And thank you for coming out, Wayne, and thank you for elevating the podcast. Because like I said, last week it was not the podcast with Jason and Mike. Last week it was the Wayne Sisk show featuring a couple puds. And I was totally cool with that, man.
Absolutely.
I was just happy to be here, Well, Mike.
Oh, I know. And for somebody else, it was a great week.
Who's that?
Cody Rhodes wins
Brother.
at All In The All In
Yes.
pay-per-view. It was a combination of New Japan,
Ring of Honor.
Ring of Honor, some Impact
Yes.
wrestlers.
And just some independent, some of the bigger independent names.
Wins the NWA
Yes, sir.
World title.
The 10 pounds of gold, brother.
10 pounds.
I tell you.
And we'll talk about this, his father and son.
Yes, sir.
It has been 40 years. Almost 40 years since the Rhodes held. Since Dusty won his first title.
The first title. And now we have the second generation here.
Yeah.
And Mike, something that we have not discussed, I've actually watched a little bit of that pay-per-view.
Yes.
It's a 4-hour show,
Right.
so I'm watching about 30 minutes at a time.
Mm-hmm.
I started watching it yesterday, and I got to see the opening 2 matches.
Right.
And, obviously every week, I make it perfectly clear how I feel about modern-day WWE. I'm just not a fan. I just can't get into it. Dude, I'm telling you the truth. This is the first wrestling show I've probably watched in maybe a couple years.
Right.
2 matches in. I can't wait till we get done with the podcast so I can go home and watch some more of it. It was really good. And, man, what Cody and the Young Bucks did cannot be... We cannot put how important what they did is, man, because they basically sold out a $10,000 arena in Chicago on their own, man.
Yes.
This is a completely 100% independent show. To my knowledge, the biggest independent show of all time,
Right.
I would think.
Yeah.
And, brother, the crowd was on fire. The reviews are great. I'm going to watch it myself.
I've watched the whole thing. I'm not going to spoil anything for you right now.
Well,
I've got my...
I read the results.
Okay.
Yeah, I've read the results.
Oh,
I know about Jericho.
Jericho
that was
coming in. That was
cool.
to me, that was one of the biggest things.
Yeah, that's cool.
I've got my opinions about it. I think there was some really good stuff, and I think there was some other stuff that was,
questionable.
This is your first out pay-per-view.
You
Maybe should have done a little bit more, or
well, elaborate on that.
Maybe we could cover it in another.
Let's do a podcast on All In, man. We'll do that.
Give our take on All In. Once you see the whole thing.
I was going to say, let me watch it as well. Maybe in the next few weeks or something we can go back, because I like to watch it, not just read the...
And let it sink in.
Yes.
Definitely.
And not just read the results, man. You can't really get the vibe of it. You can't really get the same... it's just not the same thing, Yeah. And it really
I will say the Cody Rhodes match was great. It was a great match.
And I've always been a huge fan of Cody.
It had that big match feel. I think it should have been main event.
I agree.
Honestly,
I agree with that. Yes,
I
saw
that's the NWA title.
That should be the big one.
And if you're wanting to push it as the title between all these promotions,
then you need to have that in your spotlight.
Yes.
And Cody is a main eventer.
Yeah.
Of all the names on that card,
Right.
I can't really think of anyone that was bigger, other than maybe Jericho. I know Rey Mysterio is in the main event. But let's be completely honest, man. Rey is in the twilight of his career.
It really is.
And Cody is really starting to hit his prime. And not only that, man, but like you just said, Mike, and you made the best absolute point, is that belt. It was on the line, and that should have been the main event. Totally agree. 100%, man. That should have been the headliner. But, it wasn't a perfect show.
No.
And I'm going to be able to watch it, like I said, and get my own take on it. But just for what those guys did. Hey, man, when Jim Cornette is putting over Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, that tells you that they did something special.
Well, I love the Bucks. I've always loved the Bucks.
They're good.
I think they're
really
a great team.
Yeah.
Of course, I'm always big on tag teams.
Sure.
Actual real tag teams.
Real tag teams,
Yes.
yeah. We don't see that anymore, man. In WWE, you usually just get a couple. Now, I will say this: WWE does seem to have gone back to the tag team division in more recent years, but I think the biggest problem with WWE, and we'll definitely go into this more, but they just don't commit.
No.
It's like if you start getting into a team or to an individual, by the time you get into them, booyah, man, they drop them. Look at the world heavyweight champion of the world, Kevin Owens. He was the biggest thing, not just physically, but he was the biggest thing going, and now he's jobbing out. And that's just one example. We can get into that, obviously, a lot more in depth in a future podcast. But, Mike, this week, brother, we're going to talk about something that...
speaking of, huge
events.
live events, live shows. Yeah.
That's what we're going to talk about today.
All right.
Shows that we have been to.
Yes.
Personal shows. Not just live events in general, but live events that we've been to.
Yes.
And Mike, let's be honest, brother. Us being the wrestling fans that we are for as long as we've been wrestling fans, this covers a pretty wide range of different promotions and different kinds of wrestling shows. Everything from the old school Mid Atlantic,
Yes.
taking place in West Lincoln High School Gym, which was my first wrestling
Yes.
show. All the way up to Nitros and to Raws
Yes.
during the prime of the Monday Night War, which, as
Hey.
far as big promotion goes, is probably the last time I've gone. And then it also goes into the smaller promotions, some of these independent shows
Right.
we see,
Yeah.
which was the last show.
Yeah.
And even our local hometown federation that we have a little history with, the
Yeah.
MWF,
Yes.
another wrestling show that we've gone to and been a part of.
Right.
So, Mike, let me ask you, brother, what was your first wrestling show?
Okay. So, let's see. 1983, West Lincoln High School.
Oh, yes.
I was probably at that time, let's say 5 or 6 years old. My mom took me. The two wrestlers I remember the most being there, Ric Flair
Of course.
and Jimmy Valiant.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
Yes, sir. Boogie Magic, brother.
Oh my gosh, that was huge.
Oh, yeah.
That was huge because I'd seen these guys on TV, and here I am, 3 rows back, looking at them.
Yeah.
There they are.
It's like superheroes in real life.
So I'm fixated so much that I don't know what's going on over here to my right. But I remember Mom telling the story about it. I remember there being a little commotion, but I remember her telling the story about it. I don't remember anything else because I'm so fixated on these matches. What happened? A guy right beside of her had way too much to drink.
Right. You'll have that at wrestling shows.
Yeah. Oh yeah. A little parking lot,
Yeah,
party
yeah.
and
a little tailgating,
Yeah.
pre-gaming. And during the game.
He's passing out, and he's passing out right on her, just nodding off on her shoulder.
Right.
And so I'm oblivious to this, and she pushes him off, and it happens again. Pushes him off, happens again. Eventually, she calls for a police officer to come and get this guy up before they have to pick him up off the floor,
Right.
because she is going to put him down.
For real.
Yeah, for real.
I mean, this ain't a work.
Yeah. And that was the last time she ever took me. She had to, Dad had to take me from then on.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring that up, Mike,
But it
because
was magic. It was just like, that magical moment. And there's nothing around you that can distract you from what's going on in front of you right there. There's
Yes.
Ric Flair. I even saw Jimmy Valiant beforehand peeking around
through the curtain.
Through the curtain.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, that was big.
Dude, and it's so cool, Mike, that you say these things, because I never knew that. All these years of knowing you, man, I didn't know that happened,
Yeah.
with your mom. It's just so funny. It just so happens that we have some similarities here, Mike, because my first wrestling show as well was at West Lincoln.
Uh-huh.
And it was also my mom's last wrestling show as
that
well.
right?
It was her first and her last one as well. Let me tell you this about this event. Another similarity is this match I went to was headlined by the Boogie Woogie Man, Jimmy Valiant,
Okay.
fighting Shaska Watley. This was right when the turn happened, man. This was white hot, man. So my first introduction.
86.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'd say early 86, give or take. Yes. Maybe,
I missed
maybe
this
mid, maybe
show.
mid. Oh, man.
I missed the show. This was Rock and Roll Express, Midnight Express.
No.
No?
The Rock and Roll Express one wasn't there. I'm going to be completely honest with you, Mike. The only thing that really stands out for that show was the Boogie Woogie Man and Shaska Watley.
Okay.
Because most of the other matches were like, I think the semi-main was like Rocky King and the Italian Stallion.
Wow.
Versus
Okay.
a couple of, I mean, it was a C
Well, see,
show. It was a very.
The reason
C
I
show.
wasn't at that show was because I was grounded.
Really?
Yes.
But you know the show, though. You remember the
Yeah.
show. You probably really remember it because you didn't get to go.
Right. Yeah.
You
Oh,
know?
yeah.
But now I tell you, man, the New Breed was there as well.
Okay.
The New Breed was there, and the reason I remember that, or at least I can't remember if it was the tag team or if it was just Sean Royal, because I think Chris Champion may have been out with his injury. The
Okay.
reason I remember this, Mike, you talk about your mom having an issue with a drunk. Okay, well, Thunderfoot wrestled, I don't know, Thunderfoot number 1 or number 2 went against another guy. the gentleman, and I use that term very loosely, the gentleman sitting directly behind me, Mike Payne. I'm not talking one seat over. I'm not talking one seat to the left or right. I'm talking one seat directly behind me. Starts talking shit to Thunderfoot. They go, well, this guy jumps in the ring. Okay. And they get into a physical altercation. This fan, and this is a big old Harley looking dude, man. He's a big old hoss, He jumps in. They tangle up for a minute. Security pulls him out. Does not kick the guy out. The guy gets to stay. Fast forward, we have most of the matches. We have the intermission. I believe it was Sean Royal. And he's in the semi-main. And like I said, I can't remember exactly who it was. But he starts talking shit to that guy just directly behind me.
Right.
And he's talking real shit. He was like, I will whip your ass. I'll never forget this. He was like, you come up here and do that with me, boy. I will wipe your ass all over this fucking place. I mean, he's saying this.
All right.
All right, now, as the match progresses, Sean Royal spits at the guy beside me and barely misses my mom. Because, like I said, the guy's sitting right behind us.
Right.
So he spits at the guy. Barely misses my mom. Mom's like, I'll never come back to another wrestling show from here on out. So just like your mom went to one and done, so did my mom. She had a one and done deal. And I'm over here thinking it's the best shit I've ever seen in my life. Hell, that was almost as cool as the stuff going on in the ring.
Oh God, it was coming out.
Yeah. Oh, it was real.
Yeah.
And brother, that main event, Shaska versus my hero, Boogie Woogie, man, was like a superhero to me, man. I got to pat him on the shoulder when he went by. I was front row.
How cool is that?
Dude, it was amazing. But, man, nothing compares to that first wrestling show.
Yeah.
Nothing really compares to it. But, Mike, there was a downside to my first wrestling show. I mean, this other stuff was really cool. It was probably my first time I realized that it was a work.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
There was a moment, man. It was too, and I don't like using the term jobber. I always like to use the term enhancement talent. I think jobber's a little, kind of, what's the word I'm looking for? Man, derogatory maybe. I just like enhancement. But I'm gonna call these guys jobbers that started the show. I never saw them before or since. You could tell it was they're probably their tryout match or something. Mike, man, they were missing each other with their punches a mile, man.
Oh, man.
And my dad always trying to educate me. He always trying to smart me up. Yeah, that shit's fake, blah, blah, blah. It just make you mad. That just make you want to like, hell no, it ain't fake.
Yeah, I didn't want to hear that shit.
Hell no, man. No, that's a fight, man, I ain't putting up with that shit.
Nope.
But, bro, when the guy took a swing, he missed him by a mile, the guy bumped. My dad looks at me. Don't say a word. Dad just kind of looks at me, and I'm like, Santa Claus ain't real, bro.
Damn.
That was, because you figured out about Santa Claus just a few years before this, so you still kind of reeling.
Yeah.
Well, at least I got wrestling, man. Santa might be bullshit, but at least I got wrestling.
Damn.
Fail, man. But by the time that main event hit, I done forgot about that shit.
Right.
By the time the Boogie Woogie Man and Shaska came out.
Boogie and Shaska, that was real.
That was real. Now, these jobbers, man, they just trying to figure their shit out.
What the hell's going on?
No, man, no. But Shaska and Boogie Woogie Man, brother, that was the real deal.
Yeah.
So, Mike, I remember you telling me about a show you went to, another show at West Lincoln, that I really hate. I didn't get to go to. Is this the one? You know what I'm talking about? It's the one where it was a TV taping.
Okay, that was 85.
Yeah. Oh, so you probably have some more in between.
I got one more in between, 84. This is the first time Dad had taken me. We were front row on this one.
Right.
Holy moly, just front row center. Jack and Jerry Briscoe.
Oh, man.
Wahoo. Greg Valentine.
Oh, hell.
I mean, it was loaded.
Right.
This is early 84. God, it was such. I don't remember a whole lot from it.
Right.
I remember them. I remember Wahoo's match. It was just everything about it was,
mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. It was so good, and that was without incident on that one, for sure.
Luckily.
Yeah. I remember, and this is when I started getting the posters, because they just throw those old posters away.
Yeah, you could get them in any gas station around here, man. Yeah, I used to have them. God,
I remember
I wish
it was like, was it Whitey's Fish Camp?
Yeah.
That had one of them. It had the 84 one, with Jack and Jerry Briscoe, Wahoo, all their names on it. What was going to happen? I never got that poster from there.
I wish I still had all the ones, man, because down there at White Mike's, West Side Mart, where Dad always go, they always have them up, and man, Dad knew the people up there. I had all the posters, man. They've all gotten ripped up or moved, or just lost over the years after moving and stuff like that. But yeah, man. But yeah, let's keep going.
I've got two that survived. The one from '85 and the one from '87.
Which I was at that show as well. We'll get to
Right.
that one. We'll definitely get to that one.
'85 though, to me there was nothing better than that show. Again, Dad had taken me before we even got into West Lincoln High School. Outside, we're pulling up parking. Who's out there? Just, I'm not sure what he was doing outside. You know, he looked like he was busy, maybe writing something down, doing something. Dusty Rhodes.
Well, I'll tell you exactly what he was doing. He was taking care of business, if
He
you
was
will.
taking care of business out there.
You got to see the big man. You got to see that.
There he was. I was like, oh wow, you know, there's Dusty.
There's Mick Jagger. There's
Yeah.
Sylvester Stallone. There's Arnold Schwarzenegger wrapped up in one in front of my freaking high school.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
God, man, how cool! How
I mean,
great
that
is
was-
that?
That was just the I guess the appetizer to what was gonna happen.
Yes, yeah. Because you told me about this show, and I've actually watched this show.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
I've watched
And
this.
at that time, I didn't know how, because it was advertised as a TV taping, of course. And, you know, we'd always watch the Mid-Atlantic and the Worldwide shows, but I never knew that they had taped them on the same
Oh, you do them all
show.
at one time, right?
Right. I'd always assumed that they were, you know, different
Separated. Or whatever.
separated shows.
Right.
You know, for whatever reason, as a kid.
Well, it's
Had
kid,
knew
man.
it.
They're different shows, so you would think that they. Yeah, I mean,
Didn't know any
that's
better.
Makes sense. Sure.
Yeah, but no, you know, they taped the Mid-Atlantic first, and they taped the Worldwide first, and they'd have stuff, you know, at the beginning that they didn't show, or
Like
in
the
between,
dark matches,
matches, stuff like that.
Right.
So it was really good. I know one of the big things I remember, seeing Magnum TA, of course.
Right.
And he was against Ivan Koloff that night.
Oh, okay.
Now that wasn't TV, that was dark.
Dark. I got
That
you.
was all dark. But we were where we were sitting. I think we were about 3 rows back on that one, but we were over to the side, and we were on the heel side, where the heels come down the aisle,
Right.
to that corner. And I know I've told you this before. Looking over and seeing Ivan and Nikita come down, just seeing them come straight to me, and Ivan making eye contact with me.
Right.
And scaring the shit out of me.
With one look.
No, just a look.
Just a look.
Just a look.
Dad-
I was scared to death. I ran back to Dad.
Right.
So I was
Just ain't having this.
I was
man.
scared.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, that's Ivan Koloff.
The Russians are coming to take me away.
Oh
I mean,
God, they're just gonna beat the hell out of all
all
of
of
us.
us, yeah, because we're stinking
Yeah,
Americans.
yeah.
You know?
Oh man,
But
it
just
was,
a look.
But it was so fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
So fun.
And it's just
I remember,
a look.
Yeah.
You know, that's what it blows me away, man.
Then right behind us was the stage where they did all the interviews. You know, they did the interviews with everybody up on the stage with, you know, like
They had the cardboard background
Bob
for
Caudle,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Bob Caudle and
Oh, Cottle was there. Well, I guess
Caudle,
so. If it was TV,
from
sure.
Mid-Atlantic, Johnny Weaver, Tony and
David, maybe.
Tony Schiavone and David Crockett.
David.
And the one that sticks out is Dusty's having his interview. Baby Doll comes out, gets in an altercation with her. Then out of nowhere, freaking Abdullah the Butcher
Just appears.
out of the freaking nowhere.
In West
Abdullah,
Lincoln.
boom, just starts, putting it
Tearing
to Dusty.
Dusty up, man. I've
Nobody-
seen the video of this.
And you see that nowhere on there does it say Abdullah the Butcher on that
Yeah.
on that flyer,
It was
on
a
that
straight
poster.
up. It was a straight
Boom.
swerve, man.
Yeah.
You had no idea.
Yeah.
Surprise. A cool surprise. Now, let me ask you, Mike, was Abdullah on television yet at this time, or was this his debut into...
I think it was probably more likely. I know Tully had brought him in.
Okay, so
or-
this had to be
yeah.
really early on
Yeah.
in this, especially if Baby Doll was still with Tully at this time and
Yeah.
everything. So, I know you've told me that story, man, and I actually had to go, and I did actually finally dig up that footage.
It's forever.
Brother.
I'd had it on VHS because they did the Crockett shows. They always do them 2 weeks out. So if that happens, say May 28th,
Right.
you would see it 2 weeks later
You're
in
right.
June.
So let's just say it's June 1st, and so you're not going to say it to June 14th.
Right.
That way.
Yeah.
That way you ain't got to go into the 28th.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But no, absolutely, man. And even in the magazines, I think we talked about this before too. You wouldn't even get the magazines for a couple months.
A couple months out.
Exactly, man. So everything stayed fresh. Everything you could still do the surprises, and you could still do all the things like that, because man, the people in West Lincoln, you're not going to be able to tell people, in Georgia,
right?
That, hey, Abby's going to pop up. You didn't have to worry about the spoilers and stuff like that.
Yep.
Which is just another sign of how times have changed with wrestling. Mike, the next show I went to, maybe the next show.
Now I was grounded on.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
But no, another one. But no, it was so cool, just to see how they did that. And like I said, that dark match, you didn't see that.
Yeah, that was for you guys, specifically for y'all.
And let's see, Magnum's having his match with Ivan. Now all of a sudden the lights go out. The lights go completely out,
which didn't happen a lot back in those days, if ever.
So we were like, what the hell?
Thought it was legit.
What the hell's going on?
Power done went down.
Power's
Ivan cut the power. He's planning on something.
Freaking lights come back on. And there's freaking Nikita and Ivan beating up on Magnum. And oh my God, that was holy crap.
I know, man. At this point, because it's not two guys beating up another guy. We now have a Russian invasion trying to take out America, playing out in front of you, man. I mean,
dude. Unreal.
Like I said, man, I did not get to go to those, but the next show...
That's the thing you couldn't get from TV, too.
No, you can't. Mike, and that's something, man, before we continue talking about some of these events, man, we ought to talk about that in general, is just how much fun these things are. Yeah. From being a kid, like we are talking about now, going up into our adulthood, going to Raw, Nitro during the Monday Night War, and I know we're going to talk about the independent shows, because people, PUDs out there, we would just get so hammered sometimes to go to these shows. Well, we definitely got hammered after the shows.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure. Maybe not quite as, but man, we would have just such a great time at these independent shows.
Yeah.
Really, in a lot of ways, Mike, I would say we had more fun at the independent shows than some of the bigger shows, just because.
Oh yeah.
We made them. Yeah. We made them fun. But Mike,
it was more intimate. For sure.
Yes, man. Yes, and I think that's one thing we're going to talk about, just wrestling in general, and just some of the, I guess, more overall entertainment value of wrestling as a whole. But just to kind of go into that a little bit, the thing I love about pro wrestling, man, is just how it's interactive.
Yeah.
You get to interact with these people. You can't yell at a movie screen and the actor tell you to shut the hell up.
Right.
But you do that in a wrestling show.
Yeah.
You can't watch a movie and you see your hero getting shot up or something. You can't start clapping your hands and the hero come back. But you can do that at a wrestling show. But Mike, my next wrestling event, once again in West Lincoln, was the one, and you actually have a poster here in the Pud Cave, man. I'm going to try to get a picture of this thing before I leave today. But it was on Tuesday, March 24th in 1987, I believe.
87?
I believe this was an 87 show. The main event was Nikita Koloff versus Tully Blanchard. A baby Nikita. A world television champion Nikita.
Yep.
Now here, I'm going to be honest with you, Mike.
U.S. Yeah, he was still U.S. at that time.
I thought it was U.S.
Yeah,
I thought.
Yeah,
that's right. That's right.
Time.
For some reason, I thought that he was the TV champion at the time. But
he hadn't lost it in Luger yet.
That is correct, man. And it was for the belt. I remember that. It was for the belt. And, Mike, I got to sit front row for that one. Now, the other one, I was back about 2 or 3 rows. This one, I got to see Nikita and Tully wrestle.
Well, see, that was
so awesome, man.
I mean, that was still, if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure if you had to pay extra for the first, second rows, but I remember a lot of it was general admission.
No, I think we got special tickets. Right. It seems like Dad got.
It seemed like those first 2 rows were special.
Yeah, like you had to pay a little bit more for them or something. And we did. I mean, I put my feet up on the guardrail. I mean, I was front row. I've never witnessed anything like Nikita and Tully front row, man. I mean, I've been to concerts and I've been to...
See, they had guardrails at that point, didn't they?
Yes, they did.
They
did have guardrails. Yes,
those
sir.
Early shows, there was just
nothing.
String.
Yeah, or a rope.
Yeah,
or sometimes
rope,
nothing
string,
at all.
Yeah.
And in fact, I could tell you a story about that show, because this was the Garvin brothers. The semi-main event were Ronnie and Jimmy Garvin versus the Midnight Express.
That's it.
And dude, one of the funniest things that ever happened, man, is somebody flung a drink at Big Bubba. Big Bubba and Jim were there,
right?
Which really surprised me. I was like, oh wow, man, they're actually. For some reason, I thought J.J. Dillon and Jim Cornette were too important to be in West Lincoln. I was like, man, shouldn't they be out managing them? Shouldn't they be on the phone? Why, making these arrangements, making these reservations? But somebody flipped a drink or threw a drink on Bubba, and he slipped and he fell down. And the reason why I remember the guardrails because he caught the guardrails and like he didn't knock him down, man. But dude, they just went kind of lopsided on when he did it, and everybody cracked up laughing at that show, and you could tell he was embarrassed, man. Ray Traylor was like trying to compose himself. Yeah. But that was another one, man.
I think Cornette was having his surgery at that time.
Now he was there.
Cornette
was absolutely there. Yes, he was there. Yes, I remember it, man.
I just don't remember that.
Absolutely. Him and Bubba, like I said, they were both there. And I tell you another match as we're looking here, and this match actually has a moment in my wrestling history that will stick with me forever, and that's the Brad Armstrong versus Dick Murdoch match.
God.
Now this is when Dick Murdoch just went heel.
Right.
This was when Dick Murdoch, just like Ivan did you, Mike, Dick Murdoch gives me a look. I run up to Dick Murdoch, and I call him a yellow egg-sucking dog. Because that's what he was at the time, and he deserved that.
Well, you don't turn on Dusty. He did the turn on Dusty.
Yeah. And Dusty was like, you're a yellow egg-sucking dog. So I wanted to make sure that he knew that that's what I thought about him as well. Mike, when I called Dick Murdoch, Captain Redneck, a yellow egg-sucking dog, he didn't say a word. Mm-hmm. He didn't give me a mean look. He just looked at me.
Right.
I went running back and hid behind my father just like you did yours, man. Yeah. Because Dick Murdoch looked at you like, I will absolutely murder you. Without a second thought. And not only will I do it, I can do it.
Yeah.
And he scared me, man. That was... People, I don't know if they give him enough credit of being just a terrifying heel, because, man, he terrified me with that single look that night.
This was that wild Texas...
Yes. Redneck.
Yeah.
He was a straight redneck, man. I mean, he literally looked like he would just hook you on the back of his truck and drag you through West Lincoln, man. And that's why I hid behind my dad until the match was over, and I was pulling for Brad, but I didn't say nothing. I wasn't like cheering. I quiet, man. I stay quiet the whole match. I'm just like, hurry up and get Dick Murdoch out of here. Hurry up so I can yell at Jim Cornette. He's coming up next, But, I'm
going to guess who won that match. I'm going to guess Dickie won that match, didn't he?
I think you would be the safe money, brother.
Sure.
And he beat him with the Brainbuster.
Yeah.
One of the prettiest brainbusters of all time. Dick Murdoch had one of the greatest brainbusters. But yeah, man, Baron von Raschke was there. Ivan Koloff was there. Ivan Petrov was there. I guess all the Russians had to, I guess they had to go together, But like I said, Mike, that the first match I went to with the Boogie Woogie Man really changed my life. There's nothing like it. I really rank it up over losing your virginity, man, in a lot of ways, because it's like, wow, this is new. This is different.
Right.
But when I got to see two masters of Tully and Nikita, and let's be honest, man, Nikita was he's never going to be considered a technical guy. He's never going to be considered a ring master. Tully is.
Right.
Absolutely. But, man, these guys worked so well. And being front row, like I said, dude, I've been to concerts. I've been to Shakespeare performances. I've been to, obviously, the great movies. Nothing ever even came close to that.
Yeah.
Nothing, man. I mean, I got to witness two masters of what they did ringside. Yeah, man. Changed my life.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, look, I mean, shit, dude, we're still talking about it to this day,
Exactly. I know that, if I'm not mistaken, that was probably the last time Crockett had come to West Lincoln.
I think it was, Mike.
West Lincoln. That's when they started just
doing the big ones.
Just the big ones.
I think you're right.
Just the bigger places.
I'm not
like Charlotte Coliseum.
Yeah, Greensboro, obviously.
Greensboro.
I think you're right, Mike, because I don't remember a show coming back after that.
No.
Because I would have been there.
Yeah.
I would have remembered. I would have been there. Now
I know they definitely weren't doing TV at the smaller places. And in fact, I think, if I'm not mistaken, probably 85, around that era, I think they stopped doing TV at smaller places altogether.
Anyway, right. And
but they still do the spot shows.
Right, exactly. Right. And I would say that one, man, had to at least be a B show, because like I said, man, the first one was definitely a C. I mean, but God Almighty, dude.
Because, I mean, you look at that. That's a wrestling show, not on a weekend.
That was like on a Tuesday or Wednesday or something. Yeah.
Tuesday nights.
Yeah, sure enough, man. They're both on Tuesday. Yeah. They sure was, man. Yeah. But, dude, you just talk about, once again, magical. And the same thing, you talk about people looking through the curtain. I remember when J.J. Dillon looked through the curtain. Dude, you would have thought Bigfoot was just spotted. Everybody's like, that's JJ. Yeah. Everybody's like, oh man, booing him.
Oh yeah.
It was so much fun. And once again, as a Mark kid, I'm over here like, what's JJ doing in West Lincoln? You know, shouldn't he be handling? You know, this ain't TV. This ain't TBS.
Business, yeah. But no, you know what was another big deal? I'm looking at this, and the times, you know, 7:30.
Yeah.
7:30 start.
Right.
You know, that was a big deal.
Oh,
I mean, for us,
because we're kids and
because
it's a
we're
school
kids,
school night.
and you're looking at a 2-hour show. You know, you're pushing 9:30, 10 o'clock.
Just getting out of the building.
Yeah.
You know, that's not getting home.
You
getting
got
out
your
of traffic.
intermissions in between. You know.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you know, with the kids, man,
Huge deal.
you got to hit the gimmick tables. You
Yeah.
know, I mean, that's before you.
I
leave,
remember.
You know.
Did you ever get anything?
Oh yeah, hell yeah.
What'd you get?
I got a Dusty Rose bandana, and
Uh-huh.
I got a Magnum TA Dusty Rose T-shirt, and I got a Dusty Rose Magnum TA poster, American Team poster that I still have framed and hanging today. And I actually still have the bandana framed and hanging today. I still have my gimmicks, man. Yeah.
I got a Flair poster and a Mid-Atlantic sticker.
Okay. Yeah, man. Yeah.
I wish I still had that sticker and the poster too, but I can usually find any of the posters anywhere. But that particular Mid-Atlantic sticker, you know, I wound up sticking out like a mirror.
Yeah, you're
It was
right.
like, you know, stick.
I
But
did.
God, I wish I had still had
Could
that
have had it
sticker.
back.
God, I love that Mid-Atlantic logo.
That was badass.
I would stare at it for the longest time. Might have been just something wrong with me, but you know.
Well, hey, I tell you,
I
man.
thought it was the coolest thing, though.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of gimmicks, I'm gonna tell you a gimmick that I always wanted to get and I never did get, but I remember West Lincoln had them because it was actually that I had the choice between gimmick A, which was the Americans team poster, which is one I got.
Okay, yeah.
The second gimmick was the Horseman poster in the club or the bar, wherever they're at, where they're all in tuxedos and a big fight
right.
that just broke out.
Yeah.
There's like a switchblade stuck in the
remember
table,
that.
bodies laying everywhere, and you got Luger. Luger's
Yeah.
actually in the picture.
Yep.
And you had the Horsemen with like they just beat up everybody at this bar and they're in tuxes, man. And I just thought I hated the Horsemen, but I thought that was the coolest poster I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But I had to choose. It's like Dusty and Magnum, or the Horseman, bro. That ain't
That was
even.
a badass. That was a badass poster.
That was
I'm not gonna
badass.
lie.
That
I'm not gonna lie. They're because they're in their mink.
yes,
their mink
man.
coat or fur. What is
The
it?
fur coats, the
Is it
minks.
the mink.
I think
fur
they're minks,
coats?
yeah.
I guess I don't know.
I know they were like $20,000 or
They're
something
fucking
like that,
huge.
man.
That's a lot of minks.
That's a hell, especially for Dusty.
That's a lot of
Dusty
minks.
made the motherfuckers endangered.
That's a lot. That's a lot of minks. And they're both wearing the cowboy hats.
Yeah, but Dusty's got his top hat with the claw, the
yeah, he's
eagle
got
claw.
I
the
call it.
hawk.
I call it chicken claw.
Chicken claw. That motherfucker went to KFC. Give me everything, baby.
Yeah.
And he just stuck it some bitch on the hat.
But look,
That hat was badass.
Oh yeah.
That was a badass hat, man.
Yeah, it's
And-
like it's a weird mix between like a cowboy voodoo hat.
Yeah, it kind of looks like Papa Shango and Johnny Cash went in on a hat together or
Yeah.
something, but it's badass,
Yeah.
man. Once again, Johnny and
I
Papa
still
Shango.
think it's chicken foot though,
We're gonna-
especially if it's voodoo. I think it's chicken foot.
Well, like I said, I just think Dusty got the bucket of chicken and just stuck that some bitch on there. But it is a bad poster, man.
It is.
Because Magnum's in
It
his
is.
coat as well, and he's got a
Yep.
cowboy hat on, man, and it's a badass poster. Like I say, man, it's framed up hanging
Yeah.
right now. So,
Yeah.
so Mike, I guess, man, we've probably moved out of well, at least our local big shows as far as like our
Regional.
Mid-Atlantic. Did you remember? And I can't remember if you went to this show or not, Mike. I know we've discussed it. But I was fortunate enough, and I can't remember if you went or not, to go to the WWF's
No.
first show in Charlotte. Really, you didn't
No.
get to go to that show.
No,
I was at that show, brother. Let me tell you now.
because you had more of a love for
I
WWF
did.
at that time than I did.
I did.
I would
man.
watch.
Yes. I was a huge Hogan fan.
I would watch, and because it was wrestling, of course I'm gonna watch.
Right.
But you had more of a love for it than I did
Absolutely.
at that time.
And really, you know, Mike, you can even go as far as say I just had a love for Hulk Hogan at that time.
Right.
I mean, I was just such a. Oh, don't get me wrong, man. I mean, now WWF this time had freaking amazing
Oh
talent.
yeah, for sure.
But I got to see Hogan, and that was the main thing. And you know, Mike, we got I think third or fourth row. Dad got some good seats.
That's big.
I still have the ticket stub.
That's big.
Do you know how much that ticket cost me to see Hulk Hogan versus the Big Boss Man in the main event? And I think this was 1988, I believe.
I'm gonna wager probably $10.
12. It was 12. $12. But imagine that, man.
I know.
For like
I know.
third row.
It's amazing.
I got Pat Hogan on the back. You know.
Of course, I mean at that time though, you think 1988.
Yes, man.
You
Yeah,
know,
the dollar definitely.
Right.
You know, inflation
Yeah.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But
Could you
still,
imagine anybody thinking back then, you would pay anywhere between 50
to $100 and over.
to $300.
Yeah, easily, man.
Yeah.
Well, I know we're going to talk about our WCW days here, but we'll get to that in a moment.
Yeah.
Just kind of talk about ticket prices and stuff
Right.
of that nature. But man, that WWF show. Now I got to see WWF twice, because they ran a couple tours back then. The first one I got to see was Hogan and Boss Man as the main event.
Right.
And that was the one where Andre the Giant went against Jake the Snake Roberts. This was during the Snake, Andre during the Snake.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember some of the other matches. Some of the other ones, man, tend to run together, and it was a long time ago. But the thing I remember mostly about that show was when Hulk Hogan, and I mean, it's cheesy, man. I know looking back, but at the time it was so badass and so cool. The Big Boss Man handcuffed Hulk Hogan and just beat him with his billy stick. Slick was there. Slick was getting in his shots, getting heat, man. Oh, damn, Slick got some fucking heat, bro. But Hulk Hogan, man, he's starting to hulk up, but he's got these handcuffs on. He can't do anything.
Right.
He looks to the man upstairs, to the big Hulkamaniac upstairs, brother, and he prays. And then he breaks the chains, dude. I fucking marked out, man. When he he looked up, said a prayer, broke the chains, broke the handcuffs. I went to my feet. He came back. He hulked out. 1, 2, leg drop. 1, 2, 3. I went home.
Now they
I went home very happy, bro.
they have a deal with that that religious team that did the powerlifting.
I remember that.
He would break the chains and
yes.
And they would tear the phone books.
Yeah.
In the name of God.
I think there was a little gimmick infringement going on there, but no, man, it was a great night, but definitely different. It was definitely different from NWA, man. And the second one I got to watch with the WWF, Mike, I don't remember the main event, but I remember being very upset with a match, and this is why I remember this show. Well, there was two things about the second show I remember. One where the Brainbusters were there. Arn and Tully as the Brainbusters.
See, that's amazing.
Yes, and brother, you talk about hometown heroes.
Oh,
So many Horseman chants, so many Flair chants. I remember that, and they were eating it up, man. They were really, really eating that up. But the bad thing about this match is I left. Like I said, I don't remember the main event, but it was the series of the Ultimate Warrior versus Andre the Giant matches that only took 30 seconds. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's the one. It was across the country, man. They did this every night. The Ultimate Warrior ran into the ring. He clotheslined Andre the Giant like 2 or 3 times, splashed him, beat him. 30 seconds, Andre the Giant was beat by the Ultimate Warrior. This happened.
Call bullshit on that.
Oh, it was such bullshit, man. Now, I lied to you, Mike. I told you a lie a little earlier. I said my mom never went back to a wrestling show. She actually did go to this one. Because it was a big show. It was a WWF show. It wasn't in a West Lincoln gym where, wrestlers were spitting on people. This was a thing. So Mom actually went. And Mom was a huge Ultimate Warrior fan. She had a crush on the Ultimate Warrior. She was madder than I was. Yeah, man. We were all like, what the hell? But
let's go back to this. Wait. Your mom had a crush on the
Ultimate Warrior. Yes.
What?
Yeah, man. You heard it here first on the podcast. Yes.
This is like the weirdest guy in the universe.
Hey, the dude was built like $1 million, man. I mean, I can't hate on him, man. I can't hate. But
did she ever hear him talk?
Probably not.
Probably not. Okay.
Not. That would explain it.
Yeah.
But no, we were so aggravated. I mean, even that, because I wanted to see Andre the Giant again. Because I got to see him before. And I am fortunate, man. I got to see Andre the Giant twice, and that's really awesome. And he is as big as everyone says, man. You can't, even being far back from him, like 3rd or 4th row, wherever I was, it was still, Hogan was the same way, man. Hogan I can't explain what it was like to see Hogan in person, man. I mean, it was magical, it was magical. But yeah, that second show, man, it wasn't my favorite. Like I said, I don't even remember the main event. I just remember Andre the Giant being beat by Ultimate Warrior in like 20, 30 seconds. And that was the last WWF show I would go to for a while.
Right.
But let me ask you, Mike, did you go to any bigger NWA shows in Charlotte? Like, did you ever go to any of the bashes? Or I know you probably went to some of the Memorial Coliseum. Or
No, it was just the local shows.
Really?
Yeah.
Now, I only went to one big NWA show in Charlotte. Main event was Ric Flair and Lex Luger. It's pretty good, man.
Wow.
But do you know what else they had at that show? What I remember of this show, and I only went to that one big NWA Charlotte Coliseum show. They had the Triple Cage Tower of Doom match.
Jeez, get out.
Now, let's be honest, man. That match is probably a little cheesy.
Was that a bash? Was that a bash tour?
No. This was just a house show, man. But they were taking it on tour.
The bash, the bash show, because they would do the tours with the bash shows. I remember at '88 they had was big with Flair and Luger.
That was the main event.
And the triple Dome of Terror, whatever.
The triple cage Tower of Doom.
Triple cage Tower of Doom.
Yeah, that's a fucking tongue twister.
The triple cage Tower of Terror. I think that was world class.
Yeah, I believe it was. Theirs. Yes.
But no, they were taking the bashes on tour at that time. They would do different towns, cities, and they would do that. Kind of like the War Games.
Yeah.
Because the War Games just wasn't one time. They did that.
They toured
everywhere.
And it's basically
the scaffolds.
The scaffold too.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Man, this may have been. It was inside, so I don't know. It was in the Coliseum, but I tell you, man, even as a fan, I was like, this match is a little hokey. Brother, seeing it live was pretty cool. It was really a spectacle.
Impressive.
Man. It was impressive, even though the match itself, maybe give or take, but just seeing that son of a bitch was huge, and to see the Road Warriors climb to the top of it, just right off the bat, man,
that's scary. I've watched that match on the Bash videos, and that's just a straight line. And Tommy Young is just up there the whole time.
Yeah. Tommy Young was fearless, man.
Dude, he was just pulling the rope,
Yep. Yeah.
To open up the cages.
To let him in, yeah.
Just up there the whole time. Man, that was fucking high.
Dude, it's up there.
High.
Yeah, man.
Nah, I'm good.
I couldn't even tell you how tall that thing was, man. But it was impressive seeing it live.
Wow.
And Mike, I think I may have actually went to another NWA show, but because it seems like I saw Dusty and Sting against the Road Warriors too. Man, the older you get, some of this stuff kind of runs together. It really does blend together. It seems like I went to maybe one other, but the one I remember most was Lex Luger and Ric Flair. Because I was never a Luger fan, but this was right at the turn, and I hated Flair. I hated the Horseman. Dude, it was the perfect Dusty finish, man. Luger put him up on the rack. Here comes Arn Anderson, gets him disqualified. Dude, that place was white hot. I was white hot.
God, I bet so.
But that was a fun show too, man.
Yeah.
That was fun. Once again, I think the West Lincoln shows were a little bit more intimate, a little bit more fun. Like you could really dig into those. Yeah. The NWA bigger shows.
You yell at them, and there's a possibility they're gonna hear you.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna hear what you say.
Do you remember the enhancement guy? Well, he was more of a mid Carter, I guess. Ricky Santana.
Yeah. Yeah.
I asked him point blank in the ring if he was related to Tito.
Are you Tito's brother?
Are you related to Tito? And he looked at me and says no. Yeah. That was it, though. But I was like, hey, now we know. And even Mom, because that was the show Mom was at, that the new breed spit, almost spit on my mom. Yeah. Mom was like, well, cool, I always wanted to know that.
Yeah.
But I was like, hey, you related to Tito? He was like, no. I'm like, cool. I got that intimate.
I wonder if he got that all the time.
Probably.
Yeah.
I'm sure, man.
Like, pissed off about it.
Well, especially in the South, man. Nobody ever heard of a Santana.
Yeah.
I just figured he's all related, man. In wrestling.
Because they did Ricky Steamboat, Vic Steamboat, and all that.
That's true. And sometimes they gimmick that shit, and you never know. Yeah. But it was just cool that I was so close and able to talk to these guys.
Yeah.
WWF show was definitely a little bit more circus-like, whereas the NWA show in the Coliseum was definitely more gritty. It was grittier. That's the best way to put it. So, Mike, what era of live shows are we going into now?
Wow. I guess after that, I don't know that I hit anything until, I want to say, I think I hit a couple little independent things in between that. Right. Because at that time, once Crockett was done, WWF and WCW were the big deals.
Yes, that was
little independent shows would start to pop up.
That's right.
With I think Wahoo was on a couple at West Lincoln. I think I remember those.
I remember there was a big one at the Citizen Center one time, man. We had Greg Valentine and Medusa Maselli was there.
Yeah. What year was that?
Oh, dude, this had to be about 94, 95. Because I was playing in bands at the time. I remember I went with the drummer Lamont. You remember Lamont, the drummer? I went with him.
I want to say it was probably...
Maybe 94?
Maybe earlier than that.
It couldn't have been... I'm trying to think about the time I was...
I
don't know,
93, because...
It could have been. Very, very possible. Well, I tell you,
Because I met up with you around when I was 16.
yeah. So I've been about 91. Well, I tell you what I remember mostly about that show, because we ended up leaving. We had other stuff going on. We were partying.
Oh,
you
yeah,
know, we had,
yeah.
you know, we were at that age.
That's right. I
Yeah.
remember this story.
About Greg Valentine?
Yes.
Well, I went up to Valentine, and the guy I was with, you know, he started talking about doing steroids or some stupid shit. Well, anyway, Greg looks at me, and I'm wearing a Pearl Jam shirt, and he was like, "Hey, those guys are from my hometown." I was like, "Yeah, man, I love Pearl Jam," and that's all he really had to say to me.
Yeah.
But it was so cool
Yeah.
because this other guy's trying to talk to him about steroids.
Being on the gas.
Being on gas,
Yeah,
and the
yeah.
guy and Greg just kind of looked at him, you know, and this guy was, you know, he was a little bit of a,
Yeah.
you
Oh,
know,
yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Back in this, you know, I don't know, I haven't seen the guy in years, but
Right.
at this time, you know, he's maybe not the most on the level
Yeah,
guy
yeah.
anyway.
He was putting out.
He was big time pudding. Big time pudding. But I just love how Greg just kind of shunned him and looked at my Pearl Jam shirt. Hey, those guys from my hometown. That's how he changed
Cool
the
as
subject.
that.
And I just thought that was cool
Yeah,
as shit, man.
yeah.
And I'm like, thank you, Mr. Hammer.
Yeah.
And that was it. He walked away from us, but he was cool, man. I mean,
Right.
Miss Maselli was there. She talked to us beautiful, man. She was so pretty.
Oh, my gosh.
But I did, like I said, man, we didn't stay for the
Who
whole
else
thing.
was there?
I cannot remember, man. That was my highlight.
It seemed like.
It was a good card. I mean, they had some pretty good talent on it.
Right.
But he was just so monotone,
Right.
but cool.
Yeah.
But cool. But like I said, when that guy tried to talk to him about steroid use, he was just like, anyway, those guys from my hometown. I'm like,
Yeah.
thank you, sir.
Yeah.
You know, I'm like over here like, oh my God, I'll never take it off. You know?
Yeah.
Well, Mike, you know, man.
Those were cool. Those little pop-up ones.
Yes.
But you got the feeling that it wasn't that big anymore. It was kind of like the older guys that were just kind of there and
kind of a downgrade a little
right.
bit. You know?
And you can get that sense of it was just like, I don't want to be here.
Yeah, because the territories are gone.
Right.
You know, you only have two at this time, man. I mean, and if you had any decent independent groups, they were probably under the umbrella of WWE or something. You know, even ECW ended up getting on the payroll. You know, but yeah, man, I think you're right because a lot of those guys, like Wahoo's a prime example.
Yeah.
He was getting older, twilight of his career. You know, and hey, man, they start trying to maybe push out some of the older folks, and where do you go?
Exactly.
You know, but
I know the next one I went to is I want to say it was right at that 94 era. WCW. It was a house show.
right.
I couldn't tell you. I mean, we got some good tickets. We were about, again, like 2 or 3 rows back. The main event was Ric Flair and Randy Savage.
Okay.
Huge.
Yeah, I was going to say, man, main event.
Flair was big.
That's a WrestleMania main event. Yeah.
And Macho had just come in to the WCW
Right.
as Big Baby.
Right.
But Charlotte,
It's Flair country.
Those rules don't apply.
It's Flair country, bro.
Those rules do not apply. This match was incredible. I mean, everything they did was amazing. So, here you go. Here's the setup of the whole match. Savage, okay, at the very end of the match, Savage pulls out foreign object out of his tights and uses his own Flair.
Right.
Hits Flair.
And he's the baby in this match. Right.
Yeah, and gets 1, 2, 3.
Right.
Okay? This Charlotte crowd
Ain't having this shit.
ain't having it.
Ain't having this shit.
So, as I get up, because I think, I'm just going to raise hell, there's people behind me coming forward.
Right. Right.
This place is about to come unhinged.
Yes.
This
Once
is
again.
1994, mind you, too.
Yeah, at this point, man, everybody while the boom is kind of over.
Yeah.
The 80s boom is over.
Right. And kind of the magic's gone.
Right. Right.
It's like, but no, this place is about to come unhinged.
Well, this is Flair and Charlotte,
Right.
brother.
Until the referee checks Randy and finds a foreign object on him,
reverses it.
reverses it, starts the match back
All
up.
the
Flair gets foreign object. Boom. Savage hits him. 1, 2, 3.
And the place is loving it.
Place just
Happiness.
erupts. Oh my
Happiness.
God! It was the first time I had ever seen anything done like that, and only at a house show.
And only a
Have you
Charlotte
ever-
with Flair,
Yeah.
too, man. You know, there's something special about Flair. I mean, when they call this Flair country, brother, they mean it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's his, dude.
Yep.
I still think Flair could run for governor, man. I still do, and definitely
I
mayor.
don't think
mayor.
he should.
No, probably. But could he? Sure.
He could.
Absolutely. Could he win? Goddamn right he could.
He could.
He could.
Should he?
No. But I tell you, brother. Let me ask you, Mike. So, where does that take us now, man? Because you know what I'm leaning toward is our first
show going out.
Because we kind of reunited, man. Because we had, being youthful and going our separate ways, finding ourselves. We kind of went our separate ways for a few years.
I just moved back from Winston-Salem.
It was Winston-Salem, man.
I was there for a couple of years.
And I'd been going to Gaston College and had kind of met up with some guys who would be very important and very influential with us to today.
Yes.
To modern, to right now,
exactly.
as we speak. And those guys were Two Dogs, David Hayes, and the Ultimate Weapon, Chris Stowe, or Chris Williams as he wrestled.
Right. There were a couple others in that.
There was also Smiley Stewart,
Yeah.
our first referee. You got to give Smiley props. You also got to bring up E-Man Jeff Blackwell,
Yes.
who was one of our first ring announcers and who was there with us from day one as well, man. You had Carrie Stowe, Chris's girlfriend at the time, who would help run concessions and take tickets for when we did start doing our independent thing. And Chris Baker, man, my old partner, old radio partner, Chris Baker, man, I got to give him a shout out, brother. Dr. Love is in the house, always is in the house.
Yep.
But yeah, man, we had a good
running crew.
We had a good crew, man, that got into this stuff. But I remember we reunited at a show in Lincoln.
Yes, sir.
At the old Armory.
National Guard Armory.
And why don't you talk a little bit about that Mike?
The organization itself was called PWF.
PWF, that's correct. Right. That's right. Damn, I forgot that. That's right.
Professional Wrestling Federation.
Hey, man, it
simple enough. There you go.
It works. Hey, yeah.
Fits.
PWF. It's got a good ring to it.
Yeah. This was headed up by two guys we were familiar with from Crockett days.
That's right.
The Italian Stallion and George South.
George South, man. Both tremendous athletes, man. Tremendous, just tremendous workers.
Enhancement. Enhancement talent for Crockett and some with Vince.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
But mostly in Crockett.
But, I mean, you're talking enhancement, though, that, I mean, my God, man, South and Flair could go out and put on a clinic.
Yeah.
But yeah, these guys, definitely.
And this is a time, they're bringing guys in, independent guys, that weren't known at all, except for maybe one or two.
Right. You'd have the headliners,
and for this is a different time in our lives too, because
we're a little younger at the time.
Yeah, we're not the young babyface loving.
Oh no.
Let's say little marks that were. It's got to be Hogan, it's got to be Dusty, it's got to be rock and roll.
Yeah.
So no, we were a little older and more cynical.
Yes, and smart asses,
and we were heel hungry,
big time heel fans.
Yes. Man. So that made a huge difference, but that made it a lot more fun for us. Maybe not for them, but
definitely for us, man. And Mike, we were getting heat before we even learned to wrestle.
Yeah.
We got more heat. But I mean, I'm not even trying to brag here, bro, but we got more heat than some of the workers got.
Yeah.
Because we were smart asses. We had no respect.
I hate that, because we essentially did hijack a show.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
And then as we got older, we're like, damn, we were really dicks.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, really, we were dickheads.
Yeah.
But man, do you want to tell the Chris Hamrick story?
Oh, do it. Do it.
First of all, Chris Hamrick is a great worker, man. This guy, he did some time in ECW, and he never really broke out, but he is definitely known in the circles, and he's definitely respected. But years before ECW and years before he got any national exposure, the first time I ever saw him was at this show in Lincoln at the Armory that me and Mikey were talking about. Now, it was me, it was Mikey, it was Chris Stowe, I believe E-Man was there, and maybe Smiley, I think.
Yeah.
Baker may have been there. I know Dogs was not there. I remember that I'm pretty sure he was somewhere else. I think him and JJ were dating at the time.
I think Billy Morrow was there too.
Billy might have went.
I think so.
Yeah. So in other words, man, we're all smart asses. We're all disrespectful dickheads, but we're all huge wrestling marks.
Right.
But throughout the entire show, we would rank people's moves. So if somebody would
man.
do like a Frankenstein, we would say we'd give it a 7 or an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
A lot of times we'd give a 5. Sometimes we would just be a 2.
A 2.
Boo. Or a boo, or we'd just boo 'em.
Boo.
Well, Hamrick come out, and I would say Hamrick was probably one of the most talented guys at this show for
He
sure.
was a high flyer. He was,
he was on point, man.
He had that Ricky Morton.
Yes, he looked like Ricky Morton's
persona,
brother. Really,
Yeah.
man. I mean, they
Yeah.
could have been brothers.
Yeah.
I mean, they had the long bleached blonde mullet. Still rocking the mullet.
Right. At a time where that was
On the downswing, bro. It was on. I just cut mine. Actually, I just cut mine like a year before, so it was definitely
Right.
time
Yeah.
for him to,
Yeah.
start disappearing. But here's
some people still had.
No.
They've hung on to the mullets.
Oh, dude, I still
Oh,
see
yeah.
them every once in a while today. Yeah, I mean, they're still.
I see
I'm
mullets and mullet rat tails and
Get a little blonde
My
tip
brother.
on the end of that
My
motherfucker.
brother.
Boy,
My brother.
I ain't even gonna lie, man. Hey, dude,
Oh,
if I had the
hell.
patience, I'd grow my shit out. Perm that motherfucker. Don't even think I went to perm that son of a bitch. Boy, put some highlights in it. Shit. But I ain't gonna talk about my mullet envy right now.
I have to go for the Jesse Ventura.
Well, I was gonna say, man, we may have to do the skullets.
Yeah.
Like the Hogan skullet,
Yeah.
But man, we gave Chris Hammer's putting on really honestly got a 10-point match, man. Well, we score him like a
Was
6. It was pretty good,
Was it
man.
really?
It was pretty good what I recall of it, man.
I know he did a spot on the outside.
That was really good.
Yeah.
And which he said, "What y'all think about that, motherfuckers?" or something like
And,
that.
and he stuck up his middle finger.
And he gigged us.
He gigged us.
He gigged us.
Gigged us.
We're like,
He was a baby face.
yeah, we got that guy so hot at us, even being the ultimate baby. Says, "What? Rank that motherfucker's gig us?"
Oh.
And we're like, "No, dude, that's like an 8 or 9." We were like, "No, we'll give you an 8 on that one,
Dude.
brother." He gave us a 1.
Why are you gigging us?
We broke that motherfucker, man.
I guess.
But Mike, what was so awesome about that show is for us, it started a whole new trend of me, you, Chris Stowe. I usually just put Chris Stowe in this because we would always, like David would come around, Baker would come around, but the three of us would start hitting these shows.
Yeah.
Really, really consistently, know, to the point where we started knowing some of the workers.
Yeah.
And we started knowing some of, the promoters as well. So let me ask you, Mike, do you remember a wrestler, and I know what you're going to say, obviously you're going to remember this guy, but just to put it over for the PUDs, tell us a little bit about Snotty Scotty Piper.
Oh my God. Oh wow.
Did you expect me to bring him up, brother?
That's a name I've not heard in a long. Holy.
Was that
crap.
not something else, brother? Did you know I was even going to bring him up, bro?
No.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Tell us a little bit about him, bro.
Wow, I haven't heard that. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Snotty Scotty, bro.
Snotty Scotty Piper. Holy crap.
Well, first of all, he was doing a Roddy Piper gimmick. He was doing the kilt. He was basically a Roddy Piper impersonator to a certain degree.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
But my God, man.
Oh no.
He was our sweetheart.
I don't know why.
Why?
I don't know why he didn't.
He couldn't really get mad at us.
No. I'm just saying. I forgot about him. Gosh, I forgot about him. He was so good too.
He was great.
He was
so
so
great,
good
man.
too.
He was great.
I don't know why he did that Piper gimmick.
No, he also did another gimmick later on. You remember that he started teaming with a guy and they did a tag team gimmick. We worked a show with those guys way back in the day, man. As their tag gimmick, he quit using the kilt and all that.
Really?
Yeah, we worked the show. One of our first independent shows, we worked with them. Yeah, because I remember like, hey, dude, I was being a mark.
No, I remember another show that we did in it was Lenore. And he was on that one.
Yeah, he was on that one too.
And he was in that Battle Royal.
Yeah. But he was doing the kilt still.
Yeah,
at that
he was
time.
still doing the kilt on that one.
But man, for whatever reason, we took to Snotty Scotty.
Yeah.
Like we would give. He was good. But man, we were very, what's the word, Mike? We were very critical of a lot of the workers.
Right.
We were smart asses. We were there to be dicks. We were there, we were sometimes just there to be assholes. To be
we were smarks.
We were smarks, man, and we were smart asses. We were disrespectful. Pretty much, man, we were the workers' worst fan nightmare, basically. But not when Snotty Scotty came out.
We were kind of the ECW crowd before the ECW crowd kind of took off.
Mike, that's a good analogy, man, and I totally get that.
Yeah.
100%, man. I totally agree
Because,
with that.
I think we had outgrown the old style,
Absolutely.
At that time.
Older and cynical.
Right. Yeah.
Or more cynical at the time. But man, not when it came to Snotty Scotty. We loved this guy. And he was the heel.
It was so weird.
And it was so funny, man, because he actually started acknowledging us. I remember that, man.
Yeah.
He would actually say, "Oh God!" Like when he came out, we would all stand up and just go, "Scotty, Snotty," and he would just roll his eyes like, "Oh shit, not those guys."
Those guys again.
Because he would want heat.
I remember that show.
Yes.
Where was that at again?
Oh, brother, I can't.
Was it Belmont?
It had to be either Belmont or Mount Holly. It was one of the
I want to say it was one of the two.
I always got those two confused, man. I think it may have been Mount Holly, but I'm not, brother. I don't know.
Right.
Man, last week gets a little shady sometimes. I can't remember that. I just remember how just enamored we were with Snotty Scotty, man. And all those guys on that circuit, him and the Latin Lover are about the only two that I really remember. And the skinheads.
Whoa.
Well, hey, you want to tell the skinhead story?
Holy crap. Yeah, those guys.
Wow.
Okay, now.
Wow.
Okay, so I don't get mixed up because, like I said, these things get. Were you with us when we went to the Mount Holly show with Boogie?
I don't think so. I don't think I was at that show.
Okay.
I don't. Nah. Did we work it or was it just in the crowd?
No, just in
I
the
was
crowd.
there.
Okay.
When he just got his headband tattooed?
Yeah,
yes,
he
I was
got the
at that.
tattoo on his forehead.
I was at that show. Real skinny.
You forgot about that one,
I was
didn't
at
you?
that one. I did forget about it, but yes, I was at that show. Yes,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah, that's where I saw a lot of those other guys too. Started singing. I don't know if Scotty was on that one. I can't remember, but I think that's where we met. Like
Warren Sharp is the guy who basically trained us and broke us into to wrestling. Well, we'll probably do a shoot one day.
He was the Skinheads manager.
Yes.
Okay, so
and Chris Stowe was a skinhead.
Yeah.
A couple nights, at least that one night.
On. Yeah.
And you know the story I'm going to go into.
Oh.
I mean, I guess we'll tell it.
Cheap Heat.
And this was like, ooh, guys. And I guess we'll tell it. I mean, it was a pretty controversial thing. I remember even Chris Stowe was like, I had no idea they were doing. Because Stowe was out there.
Right.
Stowe was a part of this. And because after the show, he was a little hot. He was like, I didn't know they were going
He was like, man, what the hell is this?
Nobody said anything to him.
Yeah. No.
Ladies and gentlemen, what these guys did. And let's be completely honest, a skinhead gimmick's going to be heat anyway. That's in my opinion, that's a little cheap heat to begin with. Cheap heat's good, man. I mean, I'm a fan of cheap.
Honestly, I just thought the gimmick was passe. It was. It was just past it.
Yeah, it really is.
You work this German, skinhead stuff.
I mean, this is the 90s.
This is.
It's like, come on, man. But what they did, even on top of that, basically, I'm just going to say it, man, is they had a black baby doll, and they had it on the end of a rope.
Yeah.
A noose.
A noose.
And I mean, they showed this to the crowd. They didn't tell anybody what they were going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And our friend Chris Stowe is out there, and, Stowe's not like that. Now he's playing the gimmick. It's a gimmick. It's a role, man. It's a movie. I mean, it's not real.
Yeah.
But when they pull something like that out, we were all like, Jesus, man, that's pushing it,
Yeah.
And you sometimes you get that.
Oh, we were up in the baby
little dressing room
upstairs, and I remember.
Was it the Latin Lover?
The Latin Lover
got hot.
Latin Lover was there. Fast Eddie was there.
Fast Eddie, yeah. Both of these are Latin Lover. Obviously, is Hispanic, obviously, and Fast Eddie is a black man. And they didn't know this shit was going on either. And they're up here like, what the? I mean, we were all like, damn, dude. What the hell, man?
Yeah.
And I hate to say it, but I think that actually got over where we were at with some of the crowd, man. It looked like some of the crowd actually got into it.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, man.
It's just anything like that, it's just like, God, it's just so unnecessary. It was
there's cheap heat.
It was just cheap.
And then there's unnecessarily cheap heat, man. Like, I was always be the first one to get cheap heat as a heel. Yeah, you people suck, you dirt farmers. That's cheap, but hell, man, it works. But dude. But anyway, I guess I would like to bring that up just to show how Wild West.
It was still
some
raw.
of these shows can get.
Still raw.
Yes, man.
For sure.
I mean, I'm talking taking it to extremes. And Mike, that's roughly about the time that we started breaking into wrestling because we. Once we kept hanging out with these, or kept going to these shows and hanging out afterwards, meet some of the guys. Chris Stowe being the man he is.
Yeah.
He just like, hey, I'm getting into this.
Oh, yeah.
Made the connections, brought us in, and you know, booyah pooyah. Next thing you know, man, you know, we're doing our own thing. But, you know, Mike, we'll talk about stuff we've done, you know, a little bit later on. You know, let's bring it back into the actual events we went to, because not only
then after that we would start. You know, we'd hit the little indie shows at first, but after that we started hitting
like the Nitros, the Raws, the pay-per-views.
Oh my god!
Yes.
What was the first one we did?
Man, I'm thinking that it was the pay-per-view. I think it was Spring Stampede.
Oh, Slamboree.
Slamboree. You're right, man. And it was the main event was Kevin Green, Ric Flair, and
Roddy Piper. Yep.
Yes, against Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, and X-Pac. Well, it was Six at the time. Because Hulk Hogan was not at that show, and I remember being very disappointed. I really wanted to go to that, or I really wanted him to be at that show, and he didn't make it. Now, Mike, you know, we was talking about ticket prices a little bit ago. Do you remember this?
Uh-huh.
All right, we were third or fourth row. I can't remember. I forget how much we ended up spending, man. It was like $100 or something, man. It was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Because I remember I bought those tickets. Y'all gave me the money, and I went, and I was first in line, man. Do you know, and I know you do know this, but just for the person to know, the people sitting directly behind us, one row back, I think only paid like $60 for theirs. It was like a $40 difference with one row, and I still couldn't see shit because all the tall motherfuckers in front of me, and Mikey Payne went to the goddamn guardrail and never got busted, man. I hated on you, man. I hated on you so bad because you got away with it, man. They busted me, they busted Smiley, they busted Stowe, they busted Dogs. They did not bust you, and I was like, this motherfucker. And you got to watch the whole show from the guardrail, and oh man, I'm just happy somebody I know got to do it. But that was a fun show.
That was such a good show, because just for the main event itself, it was amazing.
That was great.
It was probably the only time you would ever see the NWO put over anybody
all at the same time, man. Yeah, they all got their finishers.
Especially Kevin Green, a football player.
Yeah. Now this is also in Charlotte. You know, right when the Panthers were
huge.
white hot, man. Yeah. Kevin Green was white hot in Charlotte, man. And it worked.
Yeah.
It worked. And Kevin Green actually did pretty good, man.
Let's see. Another thing that happened was
DDP.
We had DDP coming like right beside of us, because we were on that end aisle.
Yeah, right.
That you know, DDP just, I don't know. Hey, there's DDP.
Yeah.
You got a crutch with him. Oh my God, you know.
And he came right beside you, right?
Yeah.
And not only that, man, but Ernest the Cat Miller debuted that night.
Wow.
Somebody who does not get enough recognition, dude.
I so good.
Loved
so funny.
Ernie Miller, man. I loved him, man. As a heel, somebody better call my mama. Dude, that shit was phenomenal, and he just did not get half of what he deserved. Mm-hmm. Not to mention, he was like a world-class martial artist, man. I mean, this guy's the real deal. And he took to professional wrestling like he did. So let's take a moment to appreciate Ernest the Cat Miller just for one moment, man, because he debuted and we got to witness him debut in professional wrestling, man.
That's true.
And I became such a fan of his, but when he went heel, dude, I was done. I was like, this guy's the shit.
All right, you talking about ticket prices? What were the beer prices like?
Man, all right, people. See, Mikey just gave me a look. Y'all can't see this shit. Let me tell y'all a story, okay? And I got to be careful how I tell this story. I don't want to put myself in any bad situations.
Let's do it.
Well, fuck it, man. Hell, this was back in what, 97, I guess. Yeah, it was 97. All right, man. I had taken some pretty good LSD the night before.
Okay.
Some really good LSD, man. Me and a friend. We went to a party.
Let's put it out there.
Mike was at this party. We were all at this party. It was at David Hayes' house, Two Dogs Hayes.
Yeah.
Me and his girlfriend at the time, Katie. We were the only two on it, but we were on it pretty heavily. The reason
that's a whole nother story.
No, that goes into a whole, man. That entire party, man. We could do a podcast on that party alone. Needless to say, the two people, well, Mikey, I include you with me and Katie. Me and Katie were probably the two most fucked up people on the planet. Mikey was up there, and we were the only three that had any fucking sense in that party, is all I'm going to say.
Yeah.
We were the only three that did not absolutely go batshit insane being, yes. I mean, we were just looking at static on the television, loving the hell out of that. Yeah. Everybody else was just being stupid as shit. Anyway, the reason I'm telling that is I didn't get any sleep. A lot of stuff happened at that party, man. A lot of weirdness went on that had nothing to do with the trippers. It was everybody else. But I was beat up, man, the next day. I was burnt out. I was tired. I was ill, just the whole 9 yards. But I was going to this wrestling show. So I was really happy.
Yeah.
Okay, well, Smiley Stewart went with us. He was our first referee, and Smiley's a good friend of mine. We've remained good friends all these years. So I'm happy to say that me and Smiley try to get together at least once a year for Christmas, and and I love it, man. I look forward to it every year. I really do. But now this day, Smiley wasn't really on my good side, man, because
No, he was on your right side.
he was on my right side actually. No, he was on my left. Now that I'm thinking about it, he was on the left to me. This son of a bitch. Let me tell you, people. Let me tell you what happened. Okay, I've been up tripping balls all night. Had a blast at the party, even though this shit got crazy and stupid. I still had a good time. Had fun. I was just beat up, but man, I had enough money. Cause man, I've always, I've never had a lot of money. I've always, kind of scraped here and there, whatever, man. It works, but I scraped enough money for one beer. Cause beers back in those days cost like $50 or $60. They were expensive, but they gave you a lot of beer, man. I mean, you're really one beer, if you're just sipping on it, you ain't looking to get fucked up, man. It can last the show,
Yeah.
Well, bro, I had this. It was like the holy grail, man. I got my beer. I took one sip.
Oh.
I was like, thank God, man, I got this beer.
This tasty.
Oh, man, it was frosty. Beer. Oh, it was so good, man. It tasted so good on my tongue, man. I was like, one little sip. I set it down. I'm like, okay, man, I'm going to watch my beer. As soon as I did that shit, Smiley fucking put something under my chair.
Hey, Jason, can I put this
in? Yeah, let me put this banner under here. Ka-choosh! Man, it looked like the great fucking flood of beer. I was like, I took one sip out the son of a bitch, man.
Oh,
I just looked at Smiley. I'm like, look. I'm like, I ain't mad at you. I'm like, just go give me a beer. Then he starts all doing the dance. I ain't got no money. I don't know where to go. I'm like, motherfucker. I'm like, look, man. And I told him straight up, I'm like, I don't care if you gotta go suck a dick in the bathroom. You're my... Go rob a fucking bank.
Oh, God.
You go get me a fucking beer, man.
It's just like it was yesterday.
I know. He did.
This stuff,
but
man.
He did, man. He did. He made it right, man. He went and he got me a beer. I don't know how he got it. I never asked him how he got the money.
Yeah.
But he got the money. Don't.
Oh.
But that was the one thing that stuck out to me. That in the main event, because I just can't tell you how much I was coveting this beer. I was like, because I was just so burned out, man. I partied. I partied a little bit back in, man. Back in those days, I did some shit. I would experiment a little bit here and there. And man, I was just like, this is what I've waited on all day, was this one beer. And I was only going to drink one beer all night. That was it. And then that son spilled it. But he made it right. But bro, I can't tell you how I felt watching that beer wash away.
Oh, dude.
Just down the aisle. I'm
Dude.
like, no. I mean, no.
Yeah.
But yeah. But Mike, we'll get back. I don't want to tell any more drug stories.
Oh, man.
Not today.
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a one.
Oh man, and I know you. Man, as soon as you brought that shit up, you looked at me, Mike. I'm like, oh no, man. Here we go.
That was the greatest thing.
That was fun. Looking back, I can laugh on it now, but boy, when it happened, it was like as the beer spilled, I felt my breath leave my body.
Yeah.
And I'm like, my soul was leaving with the beer.
Yeah.
But,
I know he had already gotten heat with Chris for some reason on that.
Dude, they always had heat. Man.
Oh.
Smiley and Stowe.
He was threatening to like snap his neck or something.
Which was
like
not
that.
the fucking first time,
No.
man.
No.
Let me tell us Taco Bell story.
Oh my God.
Right quick, and you'll probably hear this on, and then we got to jump back onto it, man. We're kind of starting to get into that golden time here, but
this is probably one of the peaks.
this is kind of toward the end, really, man.
Yeah.
But I'll save the Taco Bell story for another time.
Okay.
I'll save it for another time. But so the pay-per-view, and then I know we went to a Nitro. I remember us going to a Nitro, and I got a David Hayes story about that Nitro show.
Yeah.
Do you remember this, man? Do you remember we went to Jerry? God, what was Jerry? Badeau. We went to Jerry's house and pre-gamed a little bit.
Okay.
Well, do you remember this? And I know it was that Nitro show. It had to be. Maybe. Well, anyway, it was a wrestling show. I think you were there, but Dogs was going with us.
Right.
I got Dogs stoned, man. Dogs didn't smoke a lot of grass, man. To my knowledge, he still doesn't.
Right.
And he's always been kind of sporadic with it. I was like, come on, man, let's get high. Let's get high before we go to this wrestling show. All right, man, all right. So we ought to get this motherfucker ripped, boy. I mean, we just smoking up. And we go to Subway. Now, man, there's a little bit of a line in Subway. I think you were there, Mike. I can't remember, man. But I just know I started fucking with Dogs pretty bad, man, because, we were waiting in line and I got bored. So the whole time I'm whispering it, and I had a little bit more tolerance to it. I was a little bit more of a vet,
Right.
Dogs was pretty new, he didn't smoke a lot. So it was affecting him a little bit heavier than it was me, you know. So I'm in his ear, and I'm like, hey, man, when you get up to the front, that lady's going to ask you what you want to eat. I'm like, whatever you do, man, you got to be cool, man. You got to maintain. Don't laugh, man. Don't freak out. Just tell her what you want to eat.
Uh-huh.
Well, man, I'm doing this the entire time. I'm like, for real, man, don't freak out. You know, maintain, brother, maintain. Don't.
All right.
She's going to ask you, man. You got to be cool. Shut up, man. He's getting back. Shut up, man. Shut up, man. I'm good. You know, quit fucking with me. I'm like, nah, man, I'm for real. You know, I'm egging him on, hyping him up, man. Finally, the lady's like, may I take your order? This motherfucker laughs, dude. He just laughs, spits like all over the shit, man. And I'm like, no, man, he didn't maintain. No, man.
Nope.
But that's
will he maintain?
He did not. He didn't maintain on that one, man. But that was just one of the funniest moments, dude. And we ended up eating our sandwich and we went to the show. But I think you were there, Mike. But I know
I was at the Nitros. I just don't remember that particular one.
Or yeah, I think it was that one. I'm not sure.
I remember the Nitro with Flair. Flair, Hogan, and I think
Piper.
Charles Barkley was
Piper
there.
I think Piper was there.
No, it was Savage. I know Savage was there.
Okay.
Charles Barkley was there.
See, now, I don't think I went to this one, man. That doesn't sound familiar.
No, not that one. Not that one. I'm sorry. Jeez.
The one.
It was one. Oh gosh, what was it? No, it was a tag team match. And I can't remember who was tagging with Flair, but they were against Macho and Hogan.
I didn't think Hogan was that the one I went to.
I want to say he was.
Now the one I remember.
See, this is where it's.
This is where it starts getting bleed. Yes.
It gets blended together.
But
I remember also the Nitro, the one after the War Games where they injured Flair.
That's the one I'm thinking of.
Kurt Hennig came out in the Flair robe and
wasn't Piper at that one and like sat down in the ring through the entire intermission. Like I say, man, I never got to see Hulk Hogan as NWO Hogan.
Yeah.
That I know, man. So he was not at that show. It's like Hogan had an issue coming to Charlotte back then. Because of Flair.
I remember vividly the one show with him and Flair, and I think they wound up, him and Savage took the loss on that one.
Yeah. So
because for the most part they both got booed.
Yeah. They just couldn't do anything in Charlotte. So I know I never got to see NWO Hogan, but the Nitro that I remember, the Big Show, obviously he was still the Giant at the time, and he was in the NWO because I remember thinking just how huge he was.
Right.
And I remember Roddy Piper coming out, and he sat down in the middle of the ring, and I kept thinking, like, where the hell is he still in the ring? Come to find out they were doing a commercial break. And that tripped me out because I watched the tape later. Chauncey had taped it, and I watched it. I'm like, oh, that's what was going on.
Right.
But like I said, Mike, they do, especially at that stage. I've already told on myself about smoking dope and taking LSD, so, everybody's like, well, shit, he ain't going to remember what the fuck happened, yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
Excuse me, but...
we would drink it up and hit the shows.
Oh, yeah, man, yeah.
And we would drink up before and after.
After the show, we would pre-game, we would post-game, we would do it during the game.
The only Nitro I wasn't at that was pretty important in the timeline of everything was the one that when Shawn Likens ran into the
the Macho Man, dude.
Yeah.
Shawn called me that night before. And he was like, hey, man, watch me. I'm going to jump in on the Macho Man.
All right,
okay. Yeah, whatever, man. Okay, cool.
I was at your house.
Yeah, it was me, you, and Chauncey.
Yeah.
And, that was every Monday night.
Yeah.
That was every Monday. Me, you, and Chauncey would always have Monday Nitro and Raw parties.
Yep.
I remember I was messing with my drum machine. I just got a drum machine for Christmas.
Yeah.
Because I had my headphones on.
Yep.
Because you were like, dude, it's Shawn. It's fucking Shawn. And I'm like, what? And I pulled off my headphones and I pulled myself out of that drum machine.
Fucking get his head stomped.
Macho Man put a fucking beating on him, man.
Oh my god!
But he was cool, man. I talked to him the next day or or two, and he was like, "Man, how'd it go?" And he was like, "Yeah, Macho Man came up to me and asked me how my head was.
Yeah.
And, told me not to be doing that, but he was cool, man. He took it, cool Shawn. He took it in stride. And but I wish I could find it. It's not on YouTube anymore. I was trying to show it to somebody a while back, and I could not pull it up, man. I think they pulled it down, but that was a crazy one.
Yeah.
But Mike, I went to a Raw one time. Me and you did not go to this one. I went with a guy I used to work with. Now, me and you drank all day before that show. I don't know if you remember that. Because me, you, and Dan Terry, when Dan was staying with you, I showed up and got hammered. and then we went with my buddy Mike Reynolds and went to watch Raw that night.
Oh yeah.
Now, man, I'm gonna tell you like this, Mike. I'd sobered up by the time the show had started and everything, and we were at the very top. I mean, I could literally reach my hand up and touch the ceiling. I mean, we were absolutely 100% in the nosebleeds, man. But bro, when Stone Cold came out, that I've never felt that kind of electricity in my life. Once again, dude, I've seen Van Halen, I've seen Sabbath, I've seen AC/DC.
Yeah.
I've seen some great bands. I've never, ever, ever felt that kind of excitement or energy. When that glass broke,
wow,
you were a part of it.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you felt it, man. It's like, oh shit, let's get this thing going.
Yeah.
So, Mike, let me ask you, man, because I know we're kind of starting to push toward the end of our show here. So I just want to ask you, brother, what was the last, I guess, big show? Not necessarily independent show.
Last big
WWE.
Big event. Let me try to remember the date on that. 2016.
Okay.
I took my niece Hannah to a house show in Charlotte.
Okay.
I want to say it was 2016. And we got some pretty good, it was pretty good tickets. We got, right beside the entrance, that entrance ramp right there, a few rows back. Let's see, who all was there? Of course, Roman Reigns.
Right.
Big Show. Gosh, I'm trying to remember who all was there. Charlotte Flair.
Right.
Which was.
I'm sure she was
kind of surreal.
Right.
To see that. Oh man, I'm trying to remember who all was there now.
Well,
I feel bad about that. Because it was a good show. It was a house show. It was a good show. No, it was a lot of fun, and I think she had a blast.
That's what counts, man. And I tell you, dude, the last big show I went to,
but they were expensive,
really,
damn tickets.
How much?
So it was.
If you don't mind me asking about how much.
Let's see. Altogether, I think we put about $100 a ticket.
Really? Wow, man.
For a house show.
For a house.
For a house show.
Yeah, that's pretty steep, man.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you, the last show I went to, I couldn't tell you the date, but I couldn't tell you all the show or all the matches. Now this, I'm pretty sure was post-war. I'm pretty sure WWE is a WWE show. Can't remember the show itself. I can't remember all the matches. I remember I was not impressed, but I do remember the one match that was really just like, what the hell? It was the kennel match. The Al Snow versus Big Boss Man in the kennel. Do you remember? That was Charlotte, man. Yeah, that happened in Charlotte.
You saw that.
And I was there, and that was the last show I went to.
Oh, hell. No wonder.
I went with Billy. Me and Billy Morrow went.
Really?
Yeah, so honest to God, man. I ran into Christo and Caristo there. But that one was a stinker.
Holy
buddy.
Crap!
That was
giving up wrestling altogether.
Well,
after that.
I mean, that was the last big show I've been to, man.
Right.
Now, I did go to an independent show a few years ago. It was a George South show. Our friend Zane Riley was there. Went to see him. Me and David Hayes went to go watch him and support him. And good show.
Yeah.
All in all, man, very good show. It was a spot show. It's no, no kind of drama or no kind of storylines or anything like that.
Right.
But it was great, man.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really good. A lot of talent on that show, man. Obviously, South, is God, man. He's so talented and good. And, man, and George South is like 100 years old, and he's in better shape than most 30-year-olds. I mean, seriously, man.
That is a fact.
I really don't know how old George South is. I was making a joke. Obviously, I know he's not 100. But he's got to at least be in his 60s, man.
I would say.
At least. And this guy's in phenomenal shape.
Yeah.
I mean, Jesus, man. I mean, he's out here outworking most of the guys in their 20s,
Right.
And but Mike, I think we ought to at least briefly, and I don't think you've been to a show in a long time, and it's been a couple years for me. But man, we got to at least bring up the MWF.
Oh,
we got to bring up our hometown, man.
Yeah.
Our once again a connection. We have a connection with the MWF that goes back since '99. A long time ago. And man, the last show I went to see them. Well, I've been to one other since, but they had Onslaught last night. So I went last year to the Onslaught. I think it's been a year. Man, hell, man, might be two by now. Shit, I don't. Once again, man, time runs away. Great show.
Yeah.
I just want to put it over, man.
Yeah.
I need to get back out and check them out again. I get lazy, dude. I go to bed so damn early, and but I got to say, man, those guys are putting on the show. And if you haven't gone to see them lately, go out and check them out, man. I mean, Jeff has got I mean, man, dude, he has really gone all out. He has pretty much redone the whole inside of that place. It looks great.
Well, like I told you when I saw it, what, a week ago?
Yeah.
I was like, if you had told me that was the Howard's Creek Veterans Center, I would have told you you're a damn liar.
Absolutely, man. That's how.
There's no way.
Dude. It looks great in there.
Oh my god!
And not only that, man, but with the production value of their videos that they're putting out
Studio.
now, man. I mean, dude, that shit looks straight up like
studio quality.
Hollywood, man.
Yeah.
And I'm proud to say I recorded some new music, Jeff. I hope you play the new music and not the old one, man. I hate that old song. God damn. Or at least the updated version, man. That's what I've been doing for the last 2 days. I updated it. But
appease the artist in him.
Please the artist, man. And please use the other music. Use the other music, Jeff. But nah, man, it sounds. I mean, excuse me. The song sounds okay, but man, the production quality is tremendous.
Yeah.
And they got another show coming up. I believe it's gonna be on the 24th, maybe.
I know they just had one.
They just had it last night, man.
Yeah.
So
2 weeks from yesterday.
Yeah, so around the 20-something, man. Well, I never.
What is that? Let's see.
I never do it,
Yeah,
man.
22nd.
It'd be the 22nd.
22nd.
Yeah, 22nd.
Yeah.
So definitely get out there and check them out, man. 508 Howards Creek School Road. They put on a great show. If you got kids, man, there's nothing better to do with your kids than to take them out, let them cut loose, man. Let them yell. Once again, it's interactive.
Yeah.
You know, the kids can't yell at the movie people. They can't. They can't. You know.
They can,
but nobody.
It's frowned upon.
It's very highly frowned upon. Don't be a dick. Is what we're trying to say, man. If you got kids, well, my kids want to go to see a horror movie too at 11 o'clock at night. No, man, fuck that shit. Take them to the wrestling show, man, where they can get into shit and not bother everybody.
Right.
You know, keep the little shits under control and take them to the wrestling show. But all jokes aside, man, give them a chance if you haven't in a while. And go check them out, man. They're they're doing their thing, and we definitely want to thank them for all the support that they've given us. Thank you guys, and we definitely want to return that favor. And man.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll ask one question, then I'm going to get to a couple more questions.
Okay.
Have you ever met a wrestler that was just a total dick?
Man, not really. Not that I've ever met personally. Not that I can. No, not really. Not right off.
I can't think of any.
Not a total dick. No,
I cannot think of anybody.
No. I mean, I've only met a handful. You know, I've only met I met Terry Gordy.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably my
there's
favorite.
There's a story.
We didn't even talk about that.
We didn't even talk
We
about.
didn't even get into that.
Wow. Yeah.
You think we can squeeze it in right quick?
Yeah.
We got a little time, man.
Okay.
Yeah, we got time.
Let's give that Terry Gordy story. I love Terry Gordy.
Yes, meeting Terry Gordy.
Probably one of my favorite wrestlers
Absolutely.
of all time.
One of my favorite meeting of anyone ever was Terry Gordy.
Yeah.
Well, you go ahead, man.
Well, I know you remember a lot. For me, it was more just meeting him and getting to talk to him.
Yes.
As far as that wrestling side, but there was another side of Gordy besides wrestling.
Right. Well, are you talking about him going to sleep for 4 or 5 hours on the table?
No, I don't. I don't remember that part.
Oh yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah.
I went up to Mr. Gordy, as I refer to him.
Yeah.
And I was like, Mr. Gordy, I'm going to Burger King. What can I get you? He was like, give me 4 Whoppers. I was like, yes, sir.
All right.
Well, I came back, man. He was on the table and he was out.
Yeah.
And he was out. I mean, on the table, no pillow, just out. Man,
Yeah.
For like the rest of the day until the show started.
Right.
He ate his hamburgers and went out and he worked the match with Barbarian. I believe it's. Yeah, but
Wow.
we had a security guard
Uh-huh.
at this show. This was actually Chris Stowe's show. Chris Stowe actually promoted this show.
That's right.
And they had me on the camera.
Uh-huh.
Thank God they didn't have me working security again,
my
right?
God.
The first time Stowe had a show, they had my little ass over here doing security. Rob Van Dam pushed me down, man. It was...
That's where that...
yeah, Mike, you want to tell them?
That's where that broken chair came from. It's back in what? Yeah, it was the day after Christmas.
It was the day after Christmas, 1996,
96.
man.
And let's see, Barbarian put that chair over Rob Van Dam's head, popped the top out of it. I grabbed the top of it and had Rob sign it later.
And we have it hanging up here in the PUD cave,
right
man.
on the wall still.
And but they had a show with, actually, if I'm not okay, I'm getting my wires crossed here. Okay, it was Terry Gordy and it was Barbarian, and they decided to make it a falls count anywhere, no disqualification match. Well, a friend of ours who was actually training with us some at the time, JJ Mathis.
Yes.
He was around. JJ was a trip, man. This guy. I miss JJ. I haven't seen him in years, but he was a trip, man. He was something else. But he was training with us some, and we had him working security, which was a good fit for JJ. JJ was.
He took it serious,
very seriously.
Really?
And like I said once again, I'm gonna put JJ over, man. He was a all around cool guy, man. Well, if you knew him and you were cool with him, he was cool. Maybe if you're on the other side, he might not be.
Yeah.
But we were fortunate enough to be on his good side. Well, man, he got a little heat. He got a little heat this night. Basically, a chair got put into the ring in this no disqualification match with Barbarian and Terry Gordy.
Uh-huh.
When JJ pulls the chair out of the ring before they get to use it.
Well, see, this is the thing. With those chairs, I know they were, because they had went into those chairs.
Yes.
And I remember Stowe, especially Smiley.
Yes.
Was very meticulous about telling you, please
Don't
protect these chairs.
Yeah, don't use
don't fuck these chairs up, because these chairs have to go back to somebody.
Right. And so JJ pulled it out. He saw the chair in there. He was like, "Fuck this!" And he went into the ring, pulled it out. Boy, nothing happened. Nothing was really said. Nothing. But
it was the look.
Look, if looks could kill, and I'm not talking about from Terry or Barb. I'm talking from Terry and Barb. They stopped the match. Look at JJ. If looks could kill, JJ would have been dead on the floor. But they pick it back up. They finish the match. What do you do, man?
What do you do?
I mean, Jesus. I mean, you're kind of in that bad spot.
Do you listen to the boss?
Or are you going to get in the ring with Barbarian and Gordon? Honestly, I'd have probably just let the chair stay. I would have.
I wouldn't.
Really?
I wouldn't have touched it.
Me neither. That's what I'm saying. I'd have left it alone.
I left it alone. I wouldn't have touched it. Wouldn't have done it. Hey, that's all y'all.
But that just kind of shows you how JJ was, man. He went into the Lion's Den.
For sure.
And he poured out the damn, right from the middle of these just
Fearless.
Gigantic human
Fearless.
beings, man. Fearless. Brother. Fearless. Well, Mike, brother, that's my...
all right. We still got time?
We got a little time. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I know we've touched on this. We touched the questions. Touched on the questions with Wayne.
Yep.
Last week. We haven't had a chance to do this ourselves. And we'll do it with other guests too. The top three threes.
Okay.
Let's run through that
right
quick. All right. Top 3 musicians, bands.
Oh, for me?
Yeah.
Oh, shit, man. Okay.
Here we go. Put you on the spot.
Damn, man. I'm unprepared. Wait, we talking about music, man, so I got this. Top 3, Skinner, Van Halen, Sabbath.
Okay.
Now, when I say Sabbath, I mean both Ozzy and Dio. I love both, and same thing with Van Halen with Hagar and Roth. I like all of it. So
wow,
that's my Trinity, man. Trinity is Skinner, Van Halen, Black Sabbath.
Right. Nice. I'm gonna have to go with, and man, I'm so up and down, because getting like an all-time favorite is.
It's hard.
So tough.
And life changes.
So
you change.
Oh my God,
It
does. One consistent has always been the Beach Boys.
Okay.
For me.
Yeah. I remember that, man. Yeah, you've always been a huge fan.
Love the Beach Boys. I'll say Nails.
Yeah.
Nine Inch Nails. Yeah. It's still kind of a go back to me. And I'm gonna say Ozzy / Sabbath.
Sabbath.
Yeah. And because I love a lot of Ozzy stuff.
Oh, I do too, man.
A lot of that, everything up to say,
Osmosis, maybe.
No, even I think my last favorite was No Rest for the Wicked.
Really,
from
man.
Ozzy.
I would go on up into Osmosis, man.
Really?
After that one, I really like Perry Mason. I like No More Tears. I really like No More Tears. I love No Rest for the Wicked.
That was hard for me.
Yeah,
that's from that No More Tears for me is like the Black Album, Metallica.
Yeah, that's a damn good. That's a good comparison, man. Yeah, that's a real good comparison. It was definitely Ozzy's, in my opinion. It was definitely Ozzy's first kind of downswing. I did like it, man. It was poppy. Yeah, it's too polished.
Yeah.
Where No Rest for the Wicked was raw, man. And dude, don't even get me on the Randy Rhoads albums.
Yeah.
I mean, oh god, man. I mean, the Jakey Lee stuff,
was
great, man. Bark at the Moon's great, man.
I don't think that gets enough.
It doesn't.
It does not. Even from Ozzy himself.
No, man, that Jakey Lee stuff was great. Like I say, Bark at the Moon's fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
Ultimate Sin is freaking. Dude, Ultimate Sin is definitely underrated.
Yeah.
Without a doubt, man.
Yep.
But yeah,
nobody was doing anything like that.
No, man. And dude, you talk about Nine Inch Nails, and even though I was not the biggest fan as you were, but I look back on our youth when we were hanging out, going to the club scene, and Nine Inch Nails was really, even though they'd never been in my top 3, really even in my top 10, dude, they were like the soundtrack of my youth for the 90s, man. That was the soundtrack. Was that scene, man, and that style.
Yeah,
definitely,
for sure. Let's see, top 3 movies or books.
Ooh, man, okay. I'm gonna go with movies. I don't read a lot of books, man. Well, I'm actually going to do both, man. But I'm gonna put them in 2 different categories. Movies, Fear and Loathing, definitely. Dazed and Confused.
Oh wow,
Dazed and Confused is definitely up there. And then for my third, man, I know it's a little cliche. Well, just to talk a little bit about Dazed and Confused, Isn't it a trip that movie was set in the 70s, released in the 90s? The time that time period is the same time period from when that movie was released till now. You know what I'm saying? From the 70s to the 90s, from that time to now, it just makes me feel very old. It just does, but I love that movie. And I guess, man, my third, being as cliche as it is, probably Empire. Honestly, man,
really?
I just love Empire.
Okay.
I can go back and watch that movie. You know, and I got to give a special, I guess a special little honorable mention to maybe First Contact or the Star Trek First Contact.
Right.
That's probably my favorite Star Trek movie. I got to throw that one out there. Top 3 books. My number 1 book of all time is A Time to Kill by John Grisham. They got a movie on that as well. Great movie, A Time to Kill. Samuel Jackson's in the movie. The book, obviously the book's better, but the movie's really good.
All right.
The book is really, really great, but the movie's really great as well. Probably Skin Tight by Carl Hyacin, and the author me and Ray talked about being the Zevon. That's my favorite author, and I guess Striptease. So two of my top 3. No, I take that back, man. Skin Tight would be my second. My third would be a Star Trek novel called Crossover. And it was one of my favorite Star Trek stories of all time. But that's my top 3 novels and books. Yeah.
Wow.
So a little bit of science fiction in there, a little bit of dark humor in there.
Okay. I'm gonna have to go with. I think first. Wow, this is gonna be I think it's gonna be a tie. Between Bride of Frankenstein.
Okay. Oh, good.
And Citizen Kane.
Good one.
I love Citizen Kane.
Never watched it, man. I hear it's good.
Absolutely love Citizen Kane.
I hear it's all right.
Yeah.
I hear it's pretty good, man.
Yeah,
it's decent,
It's okay.
It's all right. It's all right. I heard it got some thumbs up back in the day, but I still never watched it, man. I need to really go back.
I would definitely.
I need to. Yeah.
Jaws.
Jaws is a good one.
I think it's a perfect movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely perfect.
I'll give you that, man. That's a great one. Absolutely.
And Phantasm.
It's a good one, dude.
I still think that's just an incredible movie.
One of my favorite lines, and I'm going to probably slaughter this line, man. I'm probably going to slay it, but one of my favorite lines in any movie is about the gun. He was like, when you have a gun, you shoot it, you aim to kill. Or I can't now.
Let's see.
Do you remember it?
Okay. No warning shots. Warning shots are bullshit.
Yes.
You shoot a man.
You shoot to kill him.
Or you don't shoot at all.
No, yeah, I love that line. I've always said if I put out a rap album or a rap single, I would sample that because that is just badass, man.
Yep.
Yes, warning shots are bullshit.
Yep.
Love that line, man. Great movies, man. Great choices, brother. Great choices.
Books. Let's see. This was a tough one for me because, well, I had to pick between 2 autobiographies. Jerry Lawler's and Flair's.
Flair's was great, bro.
Flair's was great. I'm going to give the edge to Lawler's, though.
Okay.
I don't know. For some reason, I enjoyed it so much more.
Right.
Because, I don't know, there was something more in-depth about it.
Right, man, right. I know Flair's was
incredible.
I call it the Bible of wrestling, honestly. Dusty had a good one.
Yeah.
Dusty's is really good. Yeah. Obviously I'm a little biased, but
man, for sure.
It's good. Hulk's was pretty good.
Did you ever read Lawler's?
No, I haven't, man. I have not, no.
Dude.
I may put that on the list.
Please.
Definitely.
Because I read a lot of those around that time, and Lawler's was still my favorite off of that.
Still up there.
The Stand.
I've read that.
I love The Stand.
I read that, man.
It's huge.
God, I was going to say it took me like 3.5 years, but I did read good book, man.
Yeah.
The only thing, Mike? Let me ask you, since you have read it as well. It's the only Stephen King book I've read. It's The Stand. That's the only one, and I loved it. I loved the story. I really liked the movie, but man, it made me not that big of a fan of King's writing style.
Really?
The thing that kind of threw me off about King was he seemed to go on so many different little tangents in his storytelling that sometimes, and he would always bring it back around and circle it back around.
Right.
But a lot of times I'm like, man, that book that took me 3.5 years
Right.
could have maybe took me 2 years if some of these things, you know, in other words, some of it seemed to be unnecessary.
Well,
you know,
I don't
almost
know.
too detailed.
Well, you're dealing with the whole, basically rebuilding the whole world.
The planet, yeah.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, man. I mean, it was a good book. I mean, I did, man. I hunkered down, and I actually started it twice.
Oh, I mean, the characters, obviously, they were built up around them, you know.
Yeah, and I mean, it is a good book, man.
It is vivid.
M-O-O-N
You can
spells
actually,
good book.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. Thank you, Tom Collins.
Yeah. But, you know, man, I just, for me, King, at least in that book, I wasn't a fan of the style as much, but I did love the story.
It was captivating.
I love the story. Absolutely.
And you may be surprised about this one. Now, I picked this one not instead of another one, but Hunter Thompson's Hell's Angels.
I never read that one either, man.
Loved it.
Really.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm familiar with it.
Still one of my favorites out of that whole bunch.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's another one, man. I
Because
need to go.
it's just so, I don't know. Man.
Detailed?
It is.
I've heard some
Yeah.
stories out of it and some things that he got into, and
Yeah.
you gotta love Hunter Thompson.
Yeah.
You know, you gotta love Hunter
Yeah.
Thompson, especially after last week coming off our Zevon episode, man. It was just a good segue right there. Yes.
All right. Top 3 wrestlers or athlete?
Oh boy, well, Dusty. You know,
Dusty.
Dusty's my top. Hogan and Boogie Woogie, man.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and go with my original 3 from when I was a kid, man. It's just hard. I mean, don't get me wrong, man. You got Flair, you know, you got Shawn Michaels, you got Bret Hart. I mean, I count those guys. Stone Cold, The Rock. I mean, I count those guys as well. But man, to me, the top 3, definitely in my opinion, the top 2 are Dusty and Hulk. You know,
Right.
Some will say Flair. I mean, I put Flair
Yeah.
up there, but for me personally, I got to put the Boogie Woogie, man, dude. He just, that Boogie magic got me.
Yeah.
You know, Dusty,
Yeah.
but Dusty is, without a doubt, number 1, Dusty Rhodes.
Right.
There's Dusty, and then there's everybody else.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I look at it.
Okay.
What about you, bro?
Flair,
Good, obviously, good choice.
Wahoo,
Sure, absolutely.
and Terry Gordy.
Great choices,
Yeah.
man. Great choices. I mean, the you know, when you start talking about just the greats, I mean, just saying top 3. Oh man, I mean, you could say the top 100 and still miss them. You know,
Oh, yeah.
still say,
Yeah.
oh Jesus, where does this one go? But yeah, man, those are some top choices,
Yeah.
brother. Top choices. All
All
right,
right.
well, brother, I think we're getting about ready to close this bad boy down. Mike, I've enjoyed this one, man. This one was a
It was a lot of
fun
It was
episode.
Good trip down memory lane.
Yes, it was.
A
Hopefully,
lot
I
of
didn't-
stories I forgot about.
I just hope no future job employers listen to this. Is like,
Well,
oh,
there
Mr.
we go.
Finger,
Yeah.
we were going to hire you, and I see you did a little bit of LSD in the 90s. What? No, I'm doing it right now.
Where'd you hear that from?
Well, who told you that?
Who was your source?
I got it from the Pud. You heard it on the podcast first.
Oh, okay. Well, that must be true.
Yeah, no shit. No fake news here, but hey, man.
There you go.
You say what you want to. There ain't no fake news here, bro.
Here we go. We're going to get on this topic now.
No, we're actually going to go ahead and shut her down, man.
All right.
Well, Mike, brother, this was a good one, man. And once again, thank you for opening up the Pud Cave and letting me come in and
Absolutely, man.
do this one. Once again, this was a blast. Once again, I just want to tell Wayne Sisk one more time, thank you for last
Yeah,
week. Like I said,
Can't wait
dude,
till the next one.
I can't either, man. Like I said, he definitely he brought us up a level, man. And
You know, like, subscribe, share
us, man.
share us, get us
Tell
out
people.
there, man. Tell everybody about it so we can keep doing these and keep getting more guests on. Tell us what you like. Tell us what you don't like.
Hell yeah. And look, man, here, we actually have an email. If anybody, I never check it, but let's go ahead and put it out.
Well, if you never check it, what the hell's the point?
Well, I may start today. Well, nobody
Okay.
email. Hell, nobody
All right.
emails us.
Okay, well, there you go.
Well, and that email is PUDcast, not the PUDcast. It's just PUDcast with Jason and Mike. You know, all spelled with the real words. You know, with and Jason and Mike, and that's at gmail.com. We'll put it up. You know,
Yeah.
when I post this later on, I'll put the email, or you can just put it on our Facebook page or on our YouTube page. Just say, hey, man, we like this, and this. We don't like this, and this.
Well, I tell you,
You know.
Well, I tell you what. Here's what we'll do. We'll make it interesting. If we can get, say, 100 subscribers,
Okay.
all right, we'll do an episode of nothing but questions.
Okay. Heck
from the listeners, and everybody.
From the 100 people.
Anybody.
Yeah,
if you got questions, we'll answer them.
So
whatever, put it out there.
So that's to get to 100 subscribers on our YouTube channel.
Yes.
Hey, man, well, we're at 21.
We're at 21 right now. Let's get that up. Share it with somebody. Get them to subscribe. If you know a wrestling fan, tell them about it. Get them to subscribe. And we get up to 100 subscribers. Hey, we'll do a full
Q&A.
show. Your questions.
Q&A,
all
man.
your questions. We'll answer them.
And we'll be honest as hell. You can ask us whatever you want to ask, and we'll tell you 100%, man. No limits. Nothing's off limits, man. But like Mike said, just get the word out there, people. Help people listen to the PUDs.
Absolutely.
Every once in a while, we may actually have something kind of cool to say.
Hey, yeah.
Who
knows?
Not today.
Who knows?
We ain't done it yet, but one
blind
day.
squirrel will find a nut every now and again.
Exactly, brother. Exactly. And on that note, brother, I guess we're going to go ahead and start shutting this thing down. Mike, once again, enjoyed it. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Mike, you got anything you want to end us with, brother?
Yep, we out.
We out, man. Until next time, y'all have a good one.
And not only that, David, I understand we're right at the end of our program.
No, we have got to go.
This has been a great event.
There's some people out there that hate us for this.